Hello, 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 everybody. Hi. Hi. Hello. Hello, all my hypno-kinky people out here. I hope you're doing well today. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm allowed to be loud this time, so I'm very thankful. Oh, she's talking. Yes, I'm talking, and thus you are listening, huh? Anyway, welcome to Hypnosis Online. I am so lucky to have been able to teach this class previously. But after that, a lot of people said to me, Secret, are you ever going to record this one? I said, I don't know about that. Maybe. I'll think about it. So this is that. Anyway, let's get in here. Hi. I hope everybody's doing well. How am I doing? Oh my goodness. Fine, thank you. I'm glad. Hope it's sunny in your part of New Zealand is pissing down here. Yay. Oh, I mean, the weather is just fine, I think. I don't often go outside, but when I do, I can look out the window and see. It's fine, yes. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Hello, such pretty much. Thank you. I'm glad you like the model. Shout out to my model mamas, Bogey Woggy and Fang, who made me look beautiful. Anyway, today it's all about hypnosis online. Right, so shall we... Oh God, my head keeps getting cut off. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. There we go. Yay! Okay, let me get into position. Can you see me now? Earlier, I had to be very careful because this model has some secret toggles I can't show on YouTube. And earlier I was playing around with pressing buttons, and I realized I had to turn off a bunch of stuff because otherwise YouTube might see some things that YouTube does not want to see. So I've had to go through and quickly turn off a bunch of things. Oh no, oh yes, it's a very risky stream today. I've unfortunately toggled all of my very spicy toggles to just the number buttons. So if I press any number buttons and things happen, and we get banned today, well, we'll see. Secret toggles? You know it. It will certainly show ads with the same stuff though. Well, this is the thing. YouTube is like a do as I say, not as what? Do as I say, not as I do kind of platform, isn't it? But anyway, I hope you're all buckled in and ready for today's session. We're going to be talking about hypnosis online, and I'm very excited to present this class to you. Now, I'm going to warn you, ads for pocket watches. Right, I'm going to warn you before we start that today's presentation might go quite quickly because I have ADHD. So if I talk too fast, just tell me, Secret, you're going too fast, and I'll do my best to slow down. But I can't make any promises. Okay, cool. Woo, Hypno Online. Yes. So this is all about how to do hypnosis over the power of the internet. Right, I've got my little presenting thing. Ooh, you can see my mouse. Ooh. Isn't that fun? Oh, isn't that fun, chat? Look at that. Ooh, so fun. It's like I can poke you in the face. Ooh. So excited. Are we getting a VOD for this? Well, this is the VOD, right? This is staying on the channel as long as I don't accidentally take my clothes off. This will be staying on the channel. Okay? Double the speed of learning. Exactly. It's okay, most of us have ADHD too. Great. Excellent. This is actually pre-recorded. This is the VOD. If the time you demand it is now. Yes, exactly. Yes, PowerPoint. Now, I'm going to warn you, I'm very bad at PowerPoints. So, good at hypnosis, bad at PowerPoints. Getting the double voice. Wait, you can hear me double? Sorry, can you hear me double? If my audio is shit, I don't want to do this. If my audio is double. That's weird because I'm looking at my audio's fine on my end. I was gonna say I can't hear you double. Have you got me open in 2 tabs? Check that you haven't got the thing open in 2 tabs. Because honestly, yeah, refresh the page. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Check if you have 2 tabs open. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just in case. Yeah. Oh no, the secrets, they're multiplying. Oh no. Okay. Right. Good. Right. Secret's so skilled. She can predict what we're going to say on the VOD like it's live. I know. Isn't that amusing? Amusing. Secret mitosis. Stop that. Oh my god. Right. All right, hypnosis online. Is it doing it? Why is it not doing it? Oh god. Hold on, sorry. This is going really well, I promise you. Audience tools? No. Speaker notes? Yep. Huh. Weird. Sorry, I'm pressing buttons and it's not doing anything. Right, reset. Next. Did I like forget how to do it? What? Huh? Sorry, this is a secret in real time learns how to use PowerPoint. Now if I do that, oh, now it's working. Okay, sorry. This was being silly. I'm gonna blame this and not me. When Secret steps on Norma's foot, Norma says, "Hey, watch out for mitosis." Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Anyway, right. Who am I and why am I teaching this class? Hi, secret subject. That's me. That's me. If you haven't met me, hi, that's me. I'm secret subject. I'm a hypnosis kink content creator and an ASMR femdom, dommy mommy ex VTuber. I know a lot of you are looking at me going, but secret, you're a VTuber right now. I wrote this when I was in my ex VTuber phase. Okay, I was not retired, but I was living that retired life. Whereas now I'm a little bit more active. And aren't you all super grateful? And you can show me you're grateful by going to patreon.com/thesecretsubject. I'm kidding. Although, if you do want high quality erotic hypnosis, you can check out my Patreon. Oh dear God. Presenter of classes. I've presented many classes in my time. I've presented classes on Star Wars. I've presented classes on this. I've presented classes on inductions. My favorite class to do is Hypnosis 101. Casually shills. Hey, if I can't shill for myself, who's going to shill for me? I don't see you guys out there doing it. Although, now that's an idea for a session, isn't it? You will shill for me so I don't have to do it myself. Here, let me... Is this more compelling? Is this more convincing? No. Anyway, so there we go. So, yep, that's what I do. Wait, where'd my thing go? Oh no, I've lost my little thing. Help! They've taken my thing away. Right, oh dear God. I'm bad at PowerPoints. If you haven't already noticed, yeah, I'm really bad at PowerPoints. I've always been really bad at PowerPoints. I am a certified hypnotist. I got certified back in 2019 and again in 2020. I liked it so much, I did it twice. I was very fortunate to go to Wise Guys erotic hypnosis certification. Sorry, I say erotic hypnosis certification. It was a generic certification class, I promise. Okay, I only say that because like everybody in the class was always kinky. I don't know why everyone in the class is always kinky. I guess it's because Wise Guy was teaching it, but like it was a very serious hypnosis class. I promise, it was very serious. It was very serious and it wasn't kinky at all. Although sometimes we would discuss other things, which was very funny. No, I'm not erotically certified. Imagine if there was an erotic hypnosis certification. I would be like... I'm going to vouch that they should let me become the principal of the erotic hypnosis teaching school because honestly, I think I may be a great principal. Imagine like Monster High, but for erotic hypnosis. I think it would be great. And I would be the teacher and the principal and everyone would do what I says all the time. It sounds like a great idea. I'm opening my own school. You heard it here first. I'm kidding. I'm not. Imagine me opening my own school. That would be so ridiculous considering I am very bad at organization. How many slaves would I need to do my organization? And how many of you would willingly volunteer your entire lives to do that for me? So many. But anyway, I digress. I am a certified hypnotist. I did, these certifications are very serious. I did one through the ICBCH. ICBCH? Yes. And the NGH. Unfortunately, Wise Guy is no longer teaching these classes anymore, which really upsets me. And I really hope that someone will step forward and start teaching them because I think they're very important for the people who want to become certified. The ICBCH, yes. He isn't, no. I was talking to someone the other day and I was like, yeah, go to Wise Guy's class, and then they went to try to go to Wise Guy's class and Wise Guy said, no, I'm not doing it anymore. And I said, what? But who gonna do it now? And honestly, if I didn't live in New Zealand, I would absolutely take up the mantle. But you have to go and get a certification called like Train the Trainers, and it's in Las Vegas, and I'm not flying to Vegas. I'm so sorry. And they refuse to teach it online, which hypnosis courses, do it online, please. Come on, look, you're missing out on so much talent here. Come on, I would absolutely train the trainers if it was online. So there we go. ICPCH, you do it online next time, damn it. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, actually I think they do it online now after COVID sometimes. Well, I'll keep an eye on that, because honestly, if it comes up again, I might. It's very expensive though. Patreon.com/thesecretsubject. Not me being like, it's very expensive. Well, okay. I've done more online play sessions than IRL ones. That's something that you might not know about me. I had a lot of friends who were online, and I actually didn't do any real hypnosis face-to-face until, oh my gosh, it must have been like 2018. So I'd already been playing in the scene since 2011. And my first IRL session with someone was 2018. So I mean, like, that's a long time to be playing online. Listen, the internet is for lots of things. Yeah, for prawn, and there's lots of stuff that happens online that doesn't happen in person all the time. And I think as a hypno-kinkster, it's very hard to find people who live locally if you live in a small area. And I live in New Zealand. There's about 5 hypno-kinksters in this entire country, including me and my wife. I think there's actually 10 now, but there's 10 that I know of, and that's it. And it's very hard when you live in a far country. So hypnosis online for me was always something I had to do out of necessity. So it was either do that or do nothing, right? I live in New Zealand, very far away from most of the scene and other hypno-kinky people. All the cons are always in the States. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying they're always in the States, you know? I would say if you're in Australia, by the way, Australia has a really decent hypno-kink scene. You'll have shit going on. We don't. The amount of times I've been tempted to fly to Sydney just to go to Hypnosis Kink Munch have been high, but unfortunately, I'm not made of money and I hate flying, so there we go. Hypnosis is a passion and profession. Honestly, don't joke about the secret sponsored HypnoCon, because if I was to host a HypnoCon, it would be in a field in the middle of New Zealand, and we would call it the Hypno Shed. What happens in the shed stays in the shed, and basically you enter the shed and it's just a brainwashing chamber, and we all just have a really good weekend of that. Yeah. Honestly, deep mind, deep shed. Dark mind, deep shed. Yes, there you go. The Hypno Shed. Welcome to the Hypno Shed. Yeah, so honestly, I absolutely would. If I wasn't so bad at organization, I absolutely would create my own event here in New Zealand. And we've been thinking about making a hypno-kink picnic for a long time, but unfortunately I'm very bad at organization. I have ADHD, so I forget about a thing I was supposed to do until it's the last minute, and then I realize, oh shit, I was supposed to do that thing. And yeah, hypnosis is my passion and my profession. I do this full time. I'm very lucky. I'm one of the few people who gets to do this full time, and again, it's not lost on me how special that is. So thank you to everyone who supports me to be able to do this full time. I have ADHD, so if I talk too fast, please say something. Just throw up a hand in the chat and be like, no, secret, too fast. Good at classes, bad at PowerPoints. So these PowerPoints are going to look real basic, but that's all we need to know. All right, what is happening? A question I ask myself often. Today we're going to talk about how does hypnosis work online, challenges and considerations for online play, how to hypnotize people over the internet. Yes, we're going to go real in depth. We're going to go real deep on the how to hypnotize people over the internet. What is happening? Good question. And sleep. That's my confusion induction. What's happening? And sleep. Anyway, examples on how to take IRL things and make them work virtually. Because there's a lot of things that you can do IRL with somebody that you can't do online, but there are ways to modify that. What do you need for online play? So this is suggestions for gear, like equipment you might want to have. Fun you can only have in an online setting. I think this is important because for a lot of us, we're only going to be playing online. Like I can't play in person most of the time. You probably can't play in person most of the time. That's probably why you're here. So these are fun. You can only have in an online setting. And then at the end, we're going to do a little Q&A. And I've already got some questions prepared. So thank you to everybody who sent me your questions. I put a Google form out. Maybe one of the mods could put the Google form in the chat so that by the end of this, if anyone has any more questions, we can put them in there. If anyone can find the link, thank you. This is me being like, please and thank you. Be nice to me. But yeah, I've got a thing. I will say a kindly fuck off to the one person who sent me your email. Please don't do that. Don't send me your email when I ask for questions. An email, last time I checked, is not a question. I don't know how you got that confused, but that's okay. I now know what email, if I see any emails in my email with that email address, I know exactly what to ignore. It's a little too simpy even for me. All right. So there we go. Q&A. So we're going to start at the very, very beginning. A very good place to start. And if you have any questions throughout, what if the email has a question as the email? It does not, actually. I can tell you for a fact, I'm not going to read out the email, but it does not, in fact, contain a question. Thank you, DG, for the form. Thank you. Yeah, if you have a question, put them in there, and I will get to them at the end, because what happens always is people ask questions during these classes, and it's great. I love it. It's just I get distracted, and then you get distracted, and then everybody's like, but my question, and then somebody gets upset. So the form is the way to go. Okay. So what is hypnosis? And if you have any other ways to explain how hypnosis works, please start in the chat. I'd love to hear from people. For years, researchers have argued over what exactly hypnosis is due to a lack of research clinically, which is getting slightly better over the years, but not quite. Every so often, I do have a dig over the internet just to see if the research is improving. And most of the time, I am horrifically disappointed because it's just hypnosis is employed by Big Pocket, which is someone watches. Yeah. True though. But yeah, but the thing is, even though people can't agree on what exactly hypnosis is, they can agree on what, they can agree on the characteristics that make up a hypnoidal state. So far, the definition we have for hypnosis is a state of heightened focus where you're more open to suggestions, often comes with a sense of dissociation. Okay? The main characteristics of a hypnoidal state, which people can agree on, are absorption, which is that intense feeling of focus or fixation on something. Dissociation, feeling removed from your body, surroundings, or time, etc. If you've ever been dissociated, you know exactly how that feels. And suggestion, you're more open to doing what a person says or going along with something. Now, I just want to clarify something with the suggestion portion of this, because every time I bring up suggestion and suggestibility, people start going, but Secret, I'm not suggestible. I'm not going to do whatever you say. Well, that's a shame, because if you did, you might have a good time. But anyway, suggestion is not just about like, you will be a chicken, so now you feel like a chicken and you 100% believe you're a chicken, you know? Suggestion is more like, it can be more simplistic than that in terms of like, but Secret, I'm not suggestible. Okay, but if I say to close your eyes and try and think about relaxing, then, and you do that, you are suggestible. It's just there are different types of suggestions that work with different people's brains. Your brain is going to interpret a suggestion in a different way to someone else's brain. And thus, that's why when we're hypnotized, we have different skills that we are naturally more, attuned to or not. So there we go. So suggestion doesn't have to be this complicated, forget your name bullshit, see the red ball bullshit. It's like the see the red ball story, right? Which I can tell later. But yeah, so just remember, suggestion doesn't have to be complicated. A lot of people like to really make it, does it say about suggestibility if I just close my eyes? Well then, what do you think? It's more subtle than we think. Yes. And we can talk about types of suggestions later. I think I have them in the PowerPoint, but anyway. Yes, relaxation is not on this list, and I'm always so annoyed when everyone says, but I wasn't relaxed, so I wasn't hypnotized. I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't matter, does it? No. Relaxation does not equal hypnosis, and I'm really sick of people who keep saying that it is, okay? You can be relaxed while being hypnotized. In fact, some of my deepest trances that I've experienced personally myself have been with my eyes open, where I look very unrelaxed for a variety of reasons. Mostly because I'm blushing wildly, but you know, we won't go into that. However, like, it doesn't have to be a relaxing thing. You don't have to, you don't have to feel relaxed. And it's like when people say, whenever I'm tranced, my body feels heavy. But some person might say, but my body didn't feel heavy unless I wasn't hypnotized. People experience this very differently. Oh yeah, a bunch of RP, ASMR, very hard when there is hypno. It's all RP until it's not. Yeah, there you go. Deepest trance, just being eyes open and not relaxed. You just don't want to experience that. It's definitely interesting. I think it's an ADHD thing. I don't know. If you have ADHD and you go into trance, let me know how it feels for you, because I'm curious. But yeah, so people get really hung up on the idea that relaxation equals trance, because I think there is a lot of content, especially content where people are using like meditation techniques to do hypnosis, like PMR inductions, which is progressive muscle relaxation. That honestly, like, it seems very like this is classic hypnosis, right? But it's really, hypnosis is such a broad thing and can be so different for so many people. Yeah, waking trance is a thing. So just keep that in mind, okay? We're gonna get that out of our brains. Okay, welcome to the online play space. The cool thing about the online play space is, it is whatever you make of it. You know, there are so many different mediums for online hypnosis, and I think this is what makes hypnosis such an accessible kink online. And yes, I said kink. YouTube, demonetize me. Come at me, bro. I haven't made money on YouTube in years. Oh my God. And yes, I am going to say the word kink several times because I, A, don't care, and B, like I said, YouTube don't pay my bills. So, but so there's many different ways to engage with hypnosis kink on the internet. And I think that's what makes it, jokes on you, are already demonetized. It makes it one of these kinks I find so accessible. For example, if you were into something like, let's talk about bondage real quick, right? If you were into bondage, and this is educational YouTube, so fuck you. If you're into bondage, it's very hard to be tied up over the internet, right? However, hypnosis is such a great kink to be practicing online because you can do so much with it. In fact, that bondage scene you wanted to do online, you can experience with hypnosis. So there's like many ways of doing this online, including video calls, text sessions, audio chat only calling, chat rooms like Discord or IRC chat. I used to use IRC chat a lot back in the day. I don't know if it's still a thing. I'm very old. Remember, I've been doing this since I was 18, back in 2011. So I am very experienced in IRC chat, but that was a big thing back in 2011. I don't know if it still is. Forums, you're less likely to find play there, thank God. Forums, somebody mentioned the erotic hypnosis subreddit earlier, and I'm just gonna say one thing. I hope they've changed their rules, because fuck you, erotic hypnosis subreddit. I have beef with them. I find, like, why do I have beef with everything? I keep finding myself beefing with everyone. Damn, I need to stop beefing with people. But just I will say, if you're a generic user of the erotic hypnosis subreddit, cool, good for you. But for content creators, it's not been very good lately. So if you see your favorite content creators, stop it. I've stopped posting there. If you see your other favorite content creators stop posting there, there's reasons for it. It just it's all about AI. Of course it's all about AI. It's always about fucking AI. Anyway, enough about that. Email, Snapchats. I'm going to get so cancelled later. I'm going to go onto Twitter later and someone's going to have a post about me. It's going to be terrible. Anyway, I don't care. I fucking hate AI in all cases. Don't use AI. Boo AI. Email, Snapchats, short content, long form video content, random spiral themed Tumblr posts. We've all seen the GIFs. Some of us have even made our own Tumblr posts. In fact, I made a Tumblr post I'm very proud of. It was like a text hypnosis session that had highlighted words that created a second hypnosis text session within the text session. It was way more complicated than it needed to be, and it took me 2 hours to write it. But honestly, I'm so proud of it. If I find it later, I'll show it to you because I'm still very proud of that. Anyway, GIFs and stuff, audio recordings like the ones that I create, and lots of other content creators are making, and more. God, there's so much you can do with this. Also, oh, it's so cool to see so many people I know in the chat. Hello. Yes. If you want to play, how you want to play is down to your comfort level, sociability and personal hypnotic needs. The thing with online play spaces I think is really cool is I think they're very when you find a really good group of people and a really great space to play, it can be really encouraging to play in. However, and this is a big however, you also have to think about safety online, and we are going to talk about that in depth later. I'm going to go really hard. I didn't go as in depth in it when I did this at Charmed Online, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth about this because as somebody who has been playing online for literally a million years at this point, I'm a fucking dinosaur. It is very easy to find yourself falling into certain pitfalls, and honestly, has she taken a breath yet? You happy now? Oh, sorry. Is this not a breath play scene? I thought it was. So I will say that we're getting DLC. You are getting DLC this stream, and it's free DLC. Isn't that amazing? DLC that's free, incredible. But yeah, so we're going to talk about safety because safety is very important. Anyway, so how do we do this? It's not rocket science, it's just brain science, and I'm sure that's not hard, right? It's not. Most of the time, anything we can do in person, we can replicate for the online play space with some adaptations. Now, if you've never played IRL, you're probably going to go, but Secret, I've never played at all. I'll be like, wow, that's interesting. Hopefully you can learn cool stuff about this. And oh my God, right. Inductions 101, but now just online. Now, I have taught this class before, and I'm not quite sure if I still have a video up, but please check my live tab on my YouTube channel for whether or not I have done my Hypnosis 101 inductions class on this channel. If I haven't and you want to see it, please let me know in the comments below at the end of this video, but I think I do. My Inductions 101 goes a lot more in depth on all of the stuff that we're going to cover here. But this is just going to be like a brief kind of overview. So if you want more in depth, then check out the Inductions 101. That one is so very, very, very in depth. We go literally super deep. And I know how much you'd love to be super deep. So yeah, anyway, I think it's over 3D Seeker. Oh, the 3D Seeker that all of you hate? Excellent, I'm glad. I did that class with that 3D model because I know everyone hates it. So it's me being a gremlin going, oh, you hate this model? Great, I'm going to force it down your throat. Anyway, so Inductions 101, but now just online. Once we know how an induction works, we can replicate it in any medium. I'm saying any medium. I wish I'd set up my Discord thing before this because I was actually going to show you how Discord induction works, but I will explain it to you, and then maybe later on, if I can figure out a way to do it, we will figure out a way to do it. Okay, hypnotic inductions is a way to get someone into a trance or hypnotic state, okay? So an induction is basically just I'm getting you into trance. Oh. Set up a text channel. A text channel for me? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, I guess we are. The Discord induction is on. Can you get me some tea? Did she hear me? I don't think my wife heard me. So that's my wife, everyone. All right. So a way to get someone in trance. They work by taking the 3 characteristics of a hypnoidal state and using them to get someone there. Remember ASD. So we're talking about absorption, suggestion, and dissociation. Normally I go ads because ads have hypnosis in it. Are you surprised? I'm not. Ads, absorption, dissociation, and suggestibility/suggestion. Yes. So ASD all the time. We just remember those 3. As long as you have those 3 things, you're good. You got it. In order to do this, we use language, spoken, body, text, whatever language we're using to instruct someone in what we're looking for. For example, to gain someone's complete focus on a thing, we'd use words like pay attention to, focus on, why don't you notice that, etc., etc., etc. Yes, I too have ASD. So does my wife. Oh, I swear everyone I like has ASD. Yeah, as long as you have ASD, you can be hypnotized. I love all the autistic people in the chat. Like, finally. Oh dear. Okay, so dissociative language is as simple as changing the pronoun from your to that. And honestly, it truly is as simple as changing the pronoun from your to that. Or those, allowing a person to remove themselves from the feeling of that thing. For example, instead of saying your eyes growing heavy with each blink, you would say those eyes growing heavy with each blink, or that arm raising higher and higher as you sink deeper into trance, depending on what you're doing. This is a really simple trick that has helped a lot actually with dissociation, because a lot of people say, I find the dissociation to be the hardest part. Well, there are ways and means. Suggestion is easy. Whatever command you give is a suggestion. So close those heavy eyes. Find yourself noticing that thing. This is all suggestion. Everything it is. Yes. Cool. I love that everyone's asking, will this be available later? Yes. I don't live stream to remove the videos, so don't worry. And the only time I remove live stream videos is when the content becomes old. But then I redo them anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, inductions 101, but now just online. So here are some induction styles that work really well long distance. Fixation inductions. So under fixation inductions, we have hold on, let me see if I can find it. This one. Oh, look, spirally eyes. We have that. We have, oh, that's my grumpy face. We have like this. Pocket watches and things like that, pendants and things like that. But you also have fixations like audio fixations, you know, like the listen to the sound of my voice. I've got a metronome on my table. You could do like that. Hold on. This is going to trigger some people, I know. Oh, yeah. Can you hear that? Oh, yeah. That kind of sound stuff. I've got my clicker nearby. No, I don't. I'm just teasing. I don't have my clicker nearby. If I get the clicker out, I think there's about like 10 of you in the chat who'll be like, uh-oh. Oh no, the clicker. Yeah, exactly. Every time I get the clicker out, someone says, oh no. It's my favorite thing ever. It's my favorite thing ever when I get the clicker out and I say clicker and they go, oh no. It's so fun. My favorite thing is, I will have to practice subject agency so hard. I know you're very well trained. So many of you are so well trained and I love it. It's so great. I'm so evil. I keep joking that one day I want to get a secret subject themed clicker. So what they are is, the clickers are not like a dog clicker. I know a lot of you are probably thinking like a dog clicker. No, it's not a dog clicker. So what it actually is, do I have it with me? No, I don't have it with me. I have everything else here, but not the clicker. That is so bizarre. Anyway, thank you for the super chat, Shadow Milano. Just want to say thank you for teaching this. Oh, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Anyway, the clicker is actually a, okay, have you ever seen those lap counters? It's officially called a lap counter. And what it is every time you run a lap, you click it, right? Or like, it's for counting things, okay? It's a counter, basically. Yes? Oh, no, I don't need one. Oh, you don't? No. I was just talking about mine because I was trying to describe what it is and how it's like a lap counter. Everyone's getting panicky, so don't worry. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
This is actually a dog clicker, so you...
Okay. Can I get a tea?
Yeah, I'm already making it.
Thank you.
Sorry, I had to go back to see what you asked for because I didn't hear it. I saw people in the chat going like, she's just ignoring you for that one.
Okay. Sorry, that's my wife, everyone. My wife is trying to be nice by giving me her dog clicker. Yes, we own a dog clicker. No, it's not for my wife. I didn't train my wife with a dog clicker yet. We still have time. She can't hear this right now, so that's good. Don't tell I said that. Shh. Keep that between ourselves. Anyway, so fixation inductions, stuff like, I bought it for our cats. Yes, we train it for training cats. Yes. Yet is a fun word. It's a fun word. You could do a whole induction with the word yet. There you go. Fixation inductions. Yeah, so anyway, lap counter. I love my lap counter because I fractionate people with it and I tell people how many clicks I've done. And then when they realize it's 100 clicks and they've done 100 fractionations, they've gone, oh no, I'm so deep. And you go, damn right you are. And yeah, it's very fun. And one day I would love to have my own purple one with like my logo on the side. So if there's any fitness companies out there who have a lap counter in purple that you would like to sell me, please let me know. I would happily work with your company and I'm sure we could sell a couple. I know at least 10 people who might want one. The official, actually one with the giant spiral on the side would be sick. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Fixation inductions. Anything to do with focusing on a thing. Remember, fixation is focus. Anything you're focusing on, it could be a picture, a word, a sound, a thing, an item, an object. It could be a sense of touch, or a kinesthetic fixation, if you will. So anything like that. So anything you focus on, that's a fixation induction. Conversational. That's what I do most of the time. Thank you so much, Genji, for the super chat. Thank you. What I miss? Not much. Just me rambling, as per usual. See, this is why I'm glad I can teach this on my own channel and not on at a con. When I'm teaching this, I have to be a little more concise, whereas I'm allowed to ramble here. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. You can tell me later. Conversational is my favorite kind of induction. It's an induction where you're basically throwing, some people also call this covert style hypnosis. A lot of the times when you're talking about covert hypnosis, you're talking about a conversational style. It's a style of hypnosis where in the middle of a phrase, you'll start throwing in some hypnotic language, or maybe you're just talking to someone and you're describing something. My favorite is I'm just describing this thing to you. I'm telling you about this one time where I went into trance and now you're in trance and you didn't realize until like halfway through my story. Yeah, storytelling works really well in conversational kind of style. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk to you, it's fine. Yeah, you like hearing me talk. So yeah, 5 minutes later, you're like drooling a little bit and, oh no, what happened? My friend John induction? Yeah, you can do anything with that. So conversational's fun. I will give you some tips for conversational because a lot of people say, but Secret, that sounds so difficult. How the fuck do I put my hypnotic patter into a conversation? And my only answer to you is practice. Honestly, the best thing you can do if you want to get better at conversational hypnosis is you have to practice. Practice your hypnotic patter. Practice the important part is to continue to talk, right? Practice just talking and seeing what happens. My favorite thing to do, and this is actually what inspired me to become a hypnosis content creator, was I used to record my inductions and send it to my subs and my friends and anyone who'd listen to me, and that kind of is what inspired me starting my Patreon and putting my audios on this channel. And now some of you even like them, you know. I look at my silver play button and I go, I guess some people like me. Yeah, so conversational is tricky. The other thing I will recommend is there's an app called Salad, which is actually this thing called Zebu cards. If you've never heard of Zebu cards, go change your life, okay? Zebu cards are basically sentence starters for hypnosis. You can play fun games with them, and I used to, when I was recording my audios, have my Salad card app or my Zebu cards printed out, and I have them on the desk next to me, and I would look through the options, and I would pick some sentences from that. I'll show you an example later because I think I still have the app. Let me just check real quick, actually. Salad. I do still have my Salad card app. Wow, and considering Norma and I share a phone, she must be really concerned. I'll just rename it as Norma, please don't open this. Oh dear. Anyway, visualization. So that is any induction where you are visualizing something. That can be and visualizations, by the way, even though it has the word visual in it, it doesn't have to be a picture. A lot of people get this very confused. I talk to a lot of people who have, is it aphasia? Is it either aphasia or like aphantasia or something? You know? What is it? Like, I think it's aphasia. Aphantasia. It is aphantasia. Okay, cool. I get a lot of comments from people with aphantasia who say, I can't do any visualizations because I have aphantasia. And I'm like, that is totally valid and totally okay. The thing is, aphasia is not... Yeah, I always get those two confused for some reason. Maybe I have a bit of the aphasia, huh? God. Word brain hard, right? Speaking swelling hard. Maybe I do have that. Oh, God. Ooh. Anyway, so visualizations can also be imagining anything. Yes, I can imagine, but I can't see. Yes, and that's exactly what I was going to talk about. Is what I find with people with the visualization inductions is a lot of people get really hung up on the idea of seeing stuff, but you can actually what is it? You can make people imagine a sound or a touch or a feeling. So it doesn't always have to be a visualization, like a visual, like a picture. You know, it can also be like, imagine the sound of a metronome ticking, imagine the sounds of the waves at the beach, imagine the feeling of the sand between your toes. And the best way to do a visualization induction, especially for people who have really trouble seeing pictures in their mind, is to really overload them with a variety of like things they can visualize, like throwing in some touch, throwing in some sound, throwing in some other sensations, you know. Yeah, to really like what do you call it? To really just like hammer home exactly what you're doing. It's a concept. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I really like doing like layers of that kind of stuff in my visualization inductions. You know, I'm conditioned when I immediately imagine a ticking sound when you mention metronome. Exactly. There you go. So stuff like that. Confusion and overload, which is basically every time I talk. I'm kidding. Oh man. I'm kidding. Or am I? No, confusion and overload induction is any way you can overload someone's mind or confuse somebody to the point where a simple command or suggestion seems really good right now. That's basically all. Thank you so much. Look at the service around here. Damn, good service. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, baby. Okay. Yeah. They used to say this is really good for overactive brains. As somebody who gets easily confused, I do like a confusion induction, but also as someone with ADHD, I find that sometimes an overload can be too much because my brain is already overloading itself. my brain is already like stupidly overwhelmed all the time. So honestly, I think that sometimes this really depends. So for some people with overactive brains, this is great. But it's going to be something that if you try it with someone and they have a really overactive brain and they find themselves getting too overwhelmed, it's almost counterintuitive because it makes it very not fun anymore. You know what I mean? There's a very different line between fun overwhelmed and, oh, I'm overwhelmed, you know? So confusion overloads, though, are very fun. Very fun. Can be very fun. So this can be as simple as something like the zero induction, which I recently learned. Well, I say recently. In 2020, I was at a con and I actually was teaching this class, and I remember that the first time I ever heard of the zero induction was with a content creator I won't name because he's a bit of a dick, apparently. Well, it seems like the case with a lot. Don't meet your heroes, folks. Don't meet your heroes. Unless it's me, at which point be prepared to be thoroughly disappointed, but not in the way that I'm going to be a bad person, but in a way that I'm just going to be a lot more boring than you think I'm going to be. Anyway, so I quoted it from this person, and then I actually talked to Jukebox, who is delightful. Thank you so much, Anthony the Evie, for the super chat. Thank you. I actually spoke to Jukebox. Jukebox came up to me after my class and said, "Hey, do you know I wrote that?" And I went, "What?" And Jukebox says, "I wrote the zero induction." I went, "No freaking way, that's so cool." So there you go. So shout out Jukebox. Jukebox is delightful. I really like him. Him? Them? Him? I think him. I'm gonna say him. I'm gonna haphazardly say him. Okay. Pronouns? Question mark? Yeah, so Jukebox is cool. I really like Jukebox a lot. Delightful. Incredible writer, stupidly talented, and just a lovely, lovely person. So anyway, so apparently there you go. So Jukebox made the zero induction, and how it goes is, zero is a magical number. You know, Tahiti, it's a magical place. Zero is a magical number, and it's, you know, when you add 0 to 0, you still get nothing, and when you think about 0, you can think about nothing. And so if you take 0 away from 0, you still get nothing. Just don't divide 0 by 0 or multiply. No, 0 by 0 timesing is 0, but dividing it is confusing. Anyway, this is all very confusing. And then you talk about how 0 is in the shape of a circle, which is an infinity, so you could just go around and around in the 0 of the nothing, you know. I'm doing it very badly, but this is kind of the gist of it, okay? So it's like 0 to the power of 0. Yeah, so you play around with the idea of 0 is nothing, and if 0 is nothing, and then when you think about 0, you think about nothing, and thus blah, 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 confusion. Woo! There's a really good confusion induction that Wise Guy came up with, and it's called I actually don't remember what he named it, but I remember he taught it to us in class. And I think this is more of an overload, but it's basically like, imagine in your brain that you were following a trail of light, right? So imagine there's like an orb. I think it starts with an orb. You focus on the orb, the feeling of like creating an orb of light and like changing the color of it so it's like the perfect color and the perfect shape and the perfect like visual in your mind if you want to be visual. You could also say, imagine the feeling of the orb inside your head, and like maybe if you reach out to touch it, just how circular the orb would be. Ponder the orb. If you will, ponder the orb. We should rename this the ponder the orb induction. Honestly, it'd be fun. Then that orb starts moving around and bouncing around inside your head, and you can imagine the feeling of the orb bouncing around inside your head. I should put the sign up, shouldn't I? I should have put the sign in here just in case. Hey, by the way, this isn't for you. So I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this induction on you. I didn't put the sign up, so you do not have permission to trance right now. I have to specify that for the people here who are stupid easy, because there's like 5 of you out there and I know who you are. Yeah, like the DVD symbol bouncing around your head. However, then a second orb comes into play, and now there's 2 of them bouncing around your head. Then you add a third one or a fourth one. And how many can you add until all of a sudden you're trying to follow each one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they're all bouncing around. And yeah, so you keep adding them basically until the person is like, whoa. And then you're like, but you know, it'd be so nice if you just didn't have to think about those anymore and you just went in trance. Boom. Done. Mic drop. Mic drop. Yeah, and you make them all different colors and stuff. And yep, so this is Wise Guy's thing. Thank you, Barrow, for becoming a member. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That reminds me, I've been told by my friend Angel Steps I have to make membership content. Ooh. Do you want membership content here on YouTube? Do we want members only streams? We'll see you later. Anyway, that's something for another day. But anyway, so this particular induction was, I feel called out. You should. I'm kidding. I love you, sleepyhead. Oh my God. Yeah, we'll do the orb induction on a membership stream. How about that? I can call it practicing my orb, pondering the orb induction. Really, really honing that pondering the orb induction. But yeah, so that's just an example of some confusion overloads. There's another one called body confusion, which I will explain to you now. Body confusion is my least favorite induction that was ever created. Yeah, but I love that my wife is in the chat going, oh no, because she knows exactly how this goes. So I hate body confusion. There are some people out here who love body confusion, and you guys, I'm not judging you. It feels like I'm judging you. I'm not judging you, but I'm going to judge you a little bit because I personally find this one to be like, I don't know why it gives me the ick. It just gives me the ick. Okay, so how it goes is basically, okay, so you know a PMR induction. Well, you probably don't because we're going to talk about it later. But so a PMR induction is where you talk about the different parts of your body relaxing, letting go of all tension, letting go of all stress. But in the body confusion version of the PMR induction, what we're going to do is we're going to say, now we're going to relax the tip of your pinky on your left toe, and then all over to the center of the palm of your right hand, and then like the tip of your left earlobe, but then also maybe like if you're gonna go sexy, you can make it more sexy and be like the third of that between me down there. You know, I don't know. I don't know how wild you want to get with this shit. But you know, like, so what you're doing is you're suggesting relaxation in really weird body parts, in really weird places, crossing the body. So going from the left to the right to the left, changing it up every so often, and then throwing in random statements that make no sense. And yeah. I'm not going to read that out because I don't want to be banned, but also you get exactly where I'm going with this, huh? Cool. I'm glad we had a mind meld in this moment and you understand what I'm putting down. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. My ring finger's topmost knuckle is feeling so relaxed right now. Exactly. That kind of shit. So, and then you cross the body. Now, the reason I hate this is because I just find it weird. I don't know what it is about weird inductions. Mystifying induction. Fuck that induction. Fuck that. Fuck the mystifying induction. I'm so sorry. Whoever created it, you're a genius, and I'm sure you're really great at what you do. Fuck that induction. But these confusion inductions always rely on randomness. Pattern interrupts even. Pattern interrupt is basically where you are talking really fast at somebody and then all of a sudden you go, and and sleep. That's it. And that's it. Done deal. I have to be careful when I say that word in this context, because yeah, not for you, no sleep for you, but just in general, that's what you say. Cool. Oh, so mystifying induction. It's an induction that someone wrote, and if you want to see a video of it, you can check my YouTube channel, which you're on right now. So very easy to find after this live stream, of course, because, you know, algorithm. Thank you for supporting me in the algorithm. There we go. But the mystifying induction is all level of fucked up. So there we go. So confusion overloads work really well online. The only thing I would say when it comes to confusion inductions online is that the problem we are going to have is pattern interrupts are very hard. Now, a pattern interrupt where you're basically overwhelming someone's mind and then giving them the option to do something that's so much simpler, like, and go into trance and sleep and relax and let everything go, because it's very hard to surprise somebody online. You know, you can surprise someone online, but it's very, very difficult to surprise someone to the degree you need to make a pattern interrupt work online. So there are ways to adapt it, but it's going to be a whole thing. Online element, don't worry, example coming. PMR induction, that's the progressive muscle relaxation induction, where you progressively relax your muscles. This relies a lot on like sleepy feelings, relaxy feelings. Thank you, Genji, for the super chat. Body confusion sounds like too much. I would not be able to focus on the specific parts and relax at the same time. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Yeah. So yeah, PMR is fine online. It's just be prepared for someone to fall asleep when you do a PMR induction, because they're very it's very much like that, very comfy, cozy, and that's fine, but also it's definitely a sleepy thing. Random flash and DM will get you a good pattern interrupt. Yes, but also you might blind someone, so you've got to be very careful about that. Fractionation. So fractionation is basically putting someone between two states. So I could fractionate you between in trance and out of trance. I could fractionate you with being incredibly stupid, like my perfect little bimbo, or not. I could fractionate you between being extremely turned on and not. Rock in a hard place. Yeah. No, which is the rock and which is the hard place? Question. Interesting. There you go. Yeah, like a yo-yo. That's correct. There we go. Got it. Yeah. So woo fractionation. Fractionation is one of the easiest inductions to do in any context, and online it's definitely something that a lot of people do, especially if you're playing in a voice call and you're playing over an evening and you're just going for it, and then by the end you're so fucking fractionated that you can't even see straight, so you have to stumble like very carefully to the shower, like after you've spent all evening playing online. And then you have to remember like that you can't fall over in the shower because that would be bad. And then you have to explain to people what fractionation is. And that's just bad. Imagine 10 hours of fractionation. Imagine that. Couldn't have been us. No. Couldn't have been. No. Couldn't have been anyone I know. No. Anyway, literally anything works online if you know how to adapt it. Yay. Okay, so here are some basic ones. So these are some basic ones that work well with caveats. So touch-based inductions for the kinesthetic people. With a touch-based induction, it is important to rely on perceived touch because, of course, you're not in the room. Did you know that? When you're online, you're not in the room yet. And haptics are cool, but haptics are not at the level that I would hope they would be at. You know, like when you talk about like devices, for perceived touch. There we go. Devices. I recently got offered a sponsorship from some devices, actually. If anyone would be interested in that, I might have some codes soon. Yeah. Devices. Yes. So massages. Yeah. And also like VR equipment. I know that they were talking about, has anyone seen Ready Player One where they have those like gloves and those what are they called? They're like bodysuits. So in Ready Player One, if they get hit in the game, they get hit in real life. We're not there yet. And until we go full Ready Player One, we're not really at that point where we can you know, like, yeah, where we can like touch people in VR. Yeah, Yeah, so we're not really there yet. So it's very important to rely on perceived touch. Wait, we are. There's full body haptic suits. Yeah, but they're like 10K. I'm saying not everybody can buy one. You know what I mean? Like when we're at the level where everybody can purchase one and it's very accessible for everybody to have their VR suit in their cupboard, you know, not be like a 10K piece of equipment that only certain people can afford. You know, when we're at that point, then cool. Until then, not cool. But yeah, so perceived touch is basically when you are suggesting the feeling of touch to someone. For example, if I say to someone, imagine the feeling of a hand just snaking up your arm, just gently caressing you or whatever, you know. Again, this is the thing that YouTube has a big issue with ASMR, which is why a lot of ASMR artists can't say that shit no more. Thanks, YouTube. You're so great, YouTube. So anyway, but some people are really good at this and some people are not. So when it comes to perceived touch and kinesthetic people, then could be sound-based. I mean, it could be, but right now we're talking about touch-based. Yeah. So these are the things that are not as good online, but we can adapt them. Yeah. So perceived touch, yeah. YouTube is weird. Yes. Did you not know the rules about perceived touch? Okay, let me tell you quickly about YouTube's rules about perceived touch. So, perceived touch on the internet, on YouTube, is now illegal and has been illegal for a really long time. The ASMR community is not allowed to do perceived touch. I'm deadly serious. I sound like I'm joking, but I'm actually quite serious. So that's why I'm not allowed to do simulated touch at all. Yes, which is why in any of my audios going forward, you probably won't hear me do it as much, which is a shame because I really enjoy doing that kind of stuff. I love doing the whole, like, imagine me gripping your head and like turning you to face me. Not allowed to do that. No kissing, no no no, I'm touching your arm right now, I'm hugging you right now, I'm pulling you towards me kind of thing right now. YouTube is a fucking prison. This is why a lot of ASMR artists have so many issues on YouTube. That's a whole conversation for maybe the end though, so we can discuss that more at the end, but YouTube is very mean. Yeah. Is that why the hair pulling file didn't make it to YouTube? No, the hair pulling file didn't make it to YouTube because it's a fucking hair pulling file and it's extremely kinky. That's why. No hair pats. No hair pats allowed. There is a new platform for this shit called RPlay, but it's I think it's a paid thing. It's a paid thing and it's not YouTube. And the problem with YouTube is really good for views. Obviously, like, you get a lot of views on YouTube, you get a lot of exposure on YouTube, so yeah. I think the hair pulling file is might be on Soundgasm, or it might be on RPlay is free. Okay, that's good to know, but also RPlay is, you know, where the pirates go. Funny. I see the joke. Thank you, Genji. What's wrong with perceived touch? You consent to it. I know. It's a whole thing. Can the files be posted on Discord? I always post links to them on Discord, so yes. Go join the Discord and you can get links. But anyway, perceived touch. See how it goes with the person that you are playing with. Rapids do not work online usually. These are just too hard unless you're in the room, because especially, so rapid inductions, we're thinking like the handshake induction or butterfly hands. A lot of these rely on two big things, right? Speed. I mean, steam, yes. I've got like gaming on the brain, damn it. Speed and Valve. Speed. Thank you, Genji. Oh, thank you so much. Are you having problems with your Patreon too? I'm not having problems with Patreon too. No, Patreon's still working, so please, if you are wanting high quality heroic hypnosis, go check out the Patreon, blah blah blah. Anyway, yep, so rapids hypnotized by Steam sale prices. Yes, exactly. So yeah, it relies on speed, and it also relies on focus, like a real and the shock, right? The shock of someone being like, whoa, what is happening? And you can't really do that online. So the handshake induction works really well in person because obviously you're grabbing someone's hand, you're shaking their hand, you're breaking the pattern that they're expecting when you shake someone's hand by pulling them forward and yelling and sleep. Well, not yelling, but, you know, forcefully saying and sleep as you pull their arm. But when it's online, you can't do that. So what can you do? Butterfly fingers you can do online because you can use your camera and go, oh, follow my fingers as you wave your fingers around the screen, right? But you have to be very fast and very like you have to really like get someone invested in that, right? Yeah. Same with pan interrupts, but often these sneaker style inductions really revolve around speed, and being one person always works better. So these might not work for you, but I've heard many people tell me, Secret, I've had a lot of good results with the butterfly hands online. I'm like, that is totally valid. That's fine. It's just sometimes it's best to just do those in person. But if you really want to try some rapids, you can. You're very brave. You're very brave. I really miss your butterfly induction videos. I wish my model could do that. I think my 3D model can do that. I'm going to try it with my 3D model at some point. Maybe that will become a membership only stream. And me trying to make my 3D hand do the butterfly induction for an hour. I bet that would be amusing. Right, let's look at some modified examples. So this is the modified Elman. So the Elman induction is, I do have hand tracking on my 3D model, but this is not 3D. This is 2D. I only have toggles on this one. Yeah, VTubing is complicated. If you want an explanation of that, I'll tell you later. So this is an induction that has a very set order of steps to induce a trance. So originally the Elman induction was created by Dave Elman, who built it around the idea that doctors would use it for surgery. And I'm serious, surgery. So instead of going under with the anesthetic, you would have a hypnosis induction instead. So it's intentionally quite forceful wording wise. I think it was actually created originally for dental surgery, like teeth removal and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, so it's quite forceful wording wise with rigid steps. I personally don't use the Elman induction at all, but I know that some people like it. Will you be doing that for your surgery? Fuck off, I will. No, I'll be doing it the other way because I need fodder for my audios. I do need fodder for my audios, I'm just saying. But anyway, so the steps are usually a yes set or a compliance set. So you ask somebody a series of questions that you know they're going to answer yes to. Is so-and-so your name? Yes. Are you having a good day? Actually, don't ask them that one because that's too wide. Stuff like, what is it? Is this your name? Yep. Are you sitting down? Yep. You can see they're sitting down. Cool. Yep. The yes set is optional but fun. It is optional. You don't have to do this, but it does get people in a mindset of being like ready to go. Eyelid catalepsy. So are you ready to begin? Yes. Eyelid catalepsy. So what that is you're going to ask someone to close their eyes. We can all practice this a little bit now, okay? So we're going to close your eyes and we're going to relax your eyes until they're so relaxed that you just either don't want to open them or they're just not going to open. You're going to keep your eyes closed and you're going to relax those eyelids. Focus really intensely on relaxing those eyes until they're just so relaxed that you don't want to open them anymore. And then when you are very convinced that you are so relaxed, your eyelids are so relaxed that you just can't open them and don't want to open them even if you wanted to, then you can try, and then you find your eyes won't open, and that's cool. That's eyelid catalepsy. Okay, everyone, open your eyes. Great. We're back in the room. You're back in the room. Cool. So that's the eyelid catalepsy portion. Now, for some people, this will take longer than others. For some people, you're going to want to go the light from the whole point. I'm blind. Oh, help. The thing is, some people are really good at relaxing their eyes to the point that they can't open them. For other people, you're going to go, you just don't want to. You just don't want to. I could already see a flaw with using this for surgery. It does take a while. Yeah, it does take a while. Fractionation. So at this point, you're going to go, now open your eyes and close your eyes and open your eyes and close your eyes. This is why dental surgery was working on this. It wouldn't work for all surgeries. And then open your eyes and close those eyes. And I don't know why they just did eyelid catalepsy and then make them open their eyes and close their eyes. Wouldn't they have gone fractionation then eyelid catalepsy? Dave Elman, I'm not like questioning your reasoning for this shit, but also, dude, then we're going to do the arm drop. Now, this is the problem, right? This is the problem with an Elman induction. Online, you cannot reach through the screen and pick someone's arm up and drop it on their lap, which is what you would do if you were doing this in person. You would reach over and you say, I'm just going to pick up your arm, and you're going to shake their arm gently. You're going to shake their arm gently. Now, because they can't control you control their eyelids. They can't move their eyelids, but you can. See, this is why she's the smart one. So you're going to pick up their arm and you're going to wiggle it and you're going to say, relax that arm until it's just so relaxed. Give me the full weight of that arm, and then you drop it on their lap to prove to them how relaxed they are. Then you do it with the other arm. Now, the problem with this is obviously you're not there in person, so what are you going to do? Now, some people have done, at this point, the balloons and the bucket kind of vibe, where they've gone, now put your arms out in front of you. In one hand is a bunch of balloons, helium balloons, and in the other is a bucket full of heavy, heavy water, and you're going to see one arm going up and one arm going down, and then you do that. Or you could do the whole, imagine I'm grabbing a string and I'm tying it around your wrist and I'm just picking up that string. And this is getting really into puppet play. So for any of you into puppet play, this will probably get you going. You pull the string like a little puppet, and then you cut the string and drop it down. Yeah. Balloon, then cut the string. Yeah, you can do stuff like that. Or you could just do the put your arm out in front of you and shake it till it's super, super relaxed. And then I want you to prove that it's so relaxed by just dropping it on your leg, you know, stuff like that. So you can get around that doing that if you want to. And then you do the mental relaxation and number amnesia blocks. So you're going to count down from 100, and with each number that you count down from 100, you're going to lose those numbers until you're just so comfortable, so relaxed, you just don't even want to count anymore. The number's just blanking from your head, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. So that's the Alma induction. Now, as we see, this doesn't work online because you can't do the arm drop, but you can use the power of suggestion. There you go. So you can do it, but it's one of those things. If you want to do the Alma induction, that is how you can do the Alma induction online. Okay. Let's look at some induction examples. Audio inductions. Over the internet, you don't always see someone. So learning how to make hypnosis audio / leaving voice messages is a great skill for getting play with people you can't see. And now remember, when we're playing with someone online, we're not always going to be on video call with someone. I mean, a lot of people always assume you're going to be in a video chat. It's not always the case. I personally hate being on video chat. I'm a fucking VTuber. Of course I hate being on fucking video chat. So like when I'm on video chat with someone, you're not going to see what I'm doing. You're going to see either this face that you see right now or nothing, because, you know, I don't want to be on video chat. So there we go. But like, when can we hang out? I know, it's crazy. So there we go. So audio stuff, it's very, very good idea to get used to audio things. You know, making files I found to be really excellent for somebody learning hypnosis. Just saying. There we go. And a great place to start with them is a fractionation, and we talked about this just before. This is a fractionation induction, so, you know, between two states. Some classic fractionation inductions include the countdown fractionation. I'm going to count down from 20 to 1, and with each even number, you have your eyes open. With each odd number, you have your eyes closed. And so as I count down from 20 to 1, you find yourself opening your eyes on the even numbers and closing them on the odd, and then you count down. 20, eyes open, da-da-da, looking at a spot on the wall maybe, and then you go 19 and close those eyes, and then and you just keep going. That one's excellent because it bakes in the convincing of being in trance with the counting, and the countdown induction is such an easy, anyone can fucking do it. It's so simple, and I love it. There's also just the eyes open, eyes closed induction, where you just tell someone to have their eyes open, staring at a spot on the wall, and then you go and close those eyes. And as you close those eyes, you're already in light state of trance. I'm already kind of cheating that way. And then you just suggest going deeper and deeper, and yeah, that kind of stuff. Yep. So usually fractionation inductions are recommended for beginners. They're easy to do. It makes it easy for the person to go into trance, and they usually have built-in conditioning. So what that means is the conditioning is where you are training someone's mind to go back into a trance state. You are building their trance state, especially for a new person. For example, if you find someone, right? If you find someone who's brand new, which is so hard to do these days. There's so many people out here who do hypno-kink. There's so hard to find new people, right? Like finding someone who's like, I've never done this before is kind of crazy these days. However, if you do find like a brand new person who's never done this before, it's a great way to, I'm new, I believe you. Oh my God. Finding someone who's completely new, it also gives them a point of like, this is what trance is, because I think for a lot of new people, it's also quite intimidating to go into trance for the first time, because I guess a lot of people come with expectations. People come with baggage. They come with ideas in their head, which is silly. I wish we could just blank those out. My God, wipe those brains. Oof. Those pesky ideas, I need to get rid of those. But anyway, So they come with ideas of like what hypnosis is, and so in order to make sure that they have a good experience. It's always nice to have some built-in conditioning, because you don't know. Maybe somebody comes to you and they're a natural somnambulist, which, as we all know, is somebody who goes real deep, real quick, real fast, like first time ever. However, maybe the person you're working with has a little bit of a tougher time going into trance or finding their trance state, you know. So it's always good to give them a sense of like practice, and the more you practice going into trance, the better you become at it. It's a skill after all. It's like learning to sing or riding a bike. All of those things are skills. So fractionation is great because it's that built-in conditioning. You're practicing the skill. Yeah, so great for beginners. And it works like. It can work through text. It can work online. The only thing is, eyes open, eyes closed doesn't work online. As you imagine, you can't tell someone to close their eyes on the internet. That is not how this works. So what do we do instead? Well, you can do the countdown of like feeling yourself going into deeper into trance with your eyes open. That can work too. You can do waking trance. All right, here we go. Text inductions. Now this is the part in the class that I found to be quite fun. Let me just quickly look at this. I'm just seeing if the Discord is. I don't want to like out my Discord. God. Okay, here we go. Made a channel. Okay, so there is a channel for this. Cool. Let me check if there is a channel. In fact, hey, there is a channel for it. Okay. Is it just got me in it, or is there other people? I think it's just me in it. Safe for work, Sandra. Thank you. Okay, so let me just do that. I wanted to show you how a text induction works, but we're going to see if I can get this going. It's just you and me. Cool. My wife's like, let's go. My wife's like, let's fucking do this shit. Is this a Patreon or anything? No, this is gonna, hopefully I'm gonna be able to show the Discord and we'll see. The Discord is for everybody now, but there are certain channels in the Discord that are Patreon only. Right. So let's talk about text-based inductions real quick. So the main thing to remember in text-based, especially text chat inductions, is you cannot have a person close their eyes. Do you understand why? Because if someone closes their eyes while you're doing a text induction, are we putting two and two together here? Oh my goodness. So there we go. So if a person closes their eyes during a text induction, it's kind of, yeah, soft lock them. Yeah, exactly. They will stop responding for unknown reasons. Yeah, they fall into fucking sleep. That's why. Which means potential for eye strain. Okay, so just remember, if someone has a lot of eye strain and tired, heavy eyes, oh no, I don't know why they would have heavy, tired eyes around here. Oh no, they can't close their eyes. So just keep that in mind. If you do text hypnosis for too long, you might strain someone's eyes out and it will hurt a little bit. So just be careful. Because eye strain is a thing, right? It seems basic, but eyes closed means they can't read the hypnosis. It's kind of the point. Conversational hypnosis works really well over text. This is where you start to talk to someone about anything and you slip in hypnotic language, always with consent. Please don't do that convert stuff without consent or I will yell at you. Yes, I am everywhere all at once. I live inside your brain. Okay? I live inside everyone's walls. Okay? There's an alarm that goes off in my office, in my castle, every fucking time someone does a covert induction. And I am there in the room going, excuse me, did you consent for that covert induction? So just know, if my alarm goes off and I have to come find you, I will. So don't do it. Yeah, I'll bring out this face. Look, I'll do this face. You'll wake up and you're like, oh shit, what happened? I'll be like, hi, I'm the hypnosis police and I'm here to arrest you for doing an unconsensual covert hypnosis. How dare you? You stop that. You stop that shit right now. No, I don't care if they were into it. That doesn't matter. It's always got to be consensual, okay? Consent is important. Even online, even in text. Don't do that. One time, I'll tell you a story. One time, I used to frequent this IRC chat, and this one time somebody decided to come into the general room of the Hypno IRC chat and posted a full-on covert hypnosis induction. But what they did is they did it in like a light blue text, so you could barely see it on the back of like the white page. It was so weird. And like, I remember this was like a huge thing that used to happen all the time back in the day, that people would just do that kind of shit to see who would drop. I'm not going to name names on who got that day, but let's just say I'm not proud of that moment. Oh dear. So don't do it. Don't do it. As someone who's been at the receiving end of that shit, it was like, nah, it was not fun. Not fun, not cool. Not cool, not kosher. No, it's not cool, okay? Anyway, the biggest thing to keep in mind is timing. A written out text post is fine as it's made to be read by the viewer of the message in their own time, but a live text hypnosis needs to be done with rhythm in mind, okay? This is a rhythm thing. You got to have a pace for it. So when you're doing a text session with somebody and you're doing it live, pace is important. Okay, if you're a slow type, think about finding moves that work for a slow pace or consider other options. All right, example. Right, I'm going to try right now. I'm going to attempt right now to do something that may or may not fuck everything up. But let's have a look, see, shall we? God. Okay. How do I even do this? Okay. Add exist. Nope. Okay. Do not make the source visible. Okay. Select a window to capture. Cool. Okay. Got it. Awesome. So I'm just going to like move this to the side here. And then we'll see. Okay. Okay. Look at that. I was like, da 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 da. Try not to dox. Da 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 da. There we go. This is like the burlesque. There we go. Right. Wow. Look at that. This is what my wife has been sending me. The safe work sand. Sure. Right. If I move that there, that's fine. Okay. Hello. Hello. So now you can see what I'm doing. Okay. You have a Discord? I have a Discord, yeah. Right. Okay, this is a secret thing in Secret's Lair. Are we about to watch Celia drop? No, I hope not. Celia. Do not. Okay. So what I'm going to show you right now is I'm going to show you an example of a text induction. Now, if you do drop to this, I will do a, do not. That is that is a command. Just I can type. Just don't. Oh, this is so silly. Okay, so this is going to be my example of a text induction. Okay, are you ready? So what I'm going to show you is so here's my wife. Everyone, don't do what? Don't go into trance. Everyone was saying, am I going to hypnotize you live? And I said, do not. Although, if you want to respond, you may respond if you feel like it. So, please do not the Celia. No dropping for mods. Do not the wife. yeah. Right. So this is. Oh no, she's responding. No, don't respond. Oh wait, why am I looking like this? Hold on. Oh no. Oh, every time I type A, my spiral eyes come out. I'm sorry. So every time I do this, my spiral eyes are going to come out. This is going to be very bad, isn't it? Hold on. Let me just disappear for 1 second. Hold on. Bear with. I'm just going to turn off my toggles because I don't want to be looking crazy out here. No, I do not want to look crazy out here. I just want to make sure that everything is turned off real quick. I'll bring it back later. It's just I've got to make sure that I protect my assets, you know? Yep. And I'll just quickly do some. Cool. There we go. I cannot be hypnotized. Well, that's a fucking lie. Okay, no one believe her. She's lying when she says she cannot be hypnotized. Right. Okay. So if I was going to start my text induction, I might say, wow, so lovely that you can just, ooh, I can type, read so simply, isn't it? And then they would respond, yes. It, and then you'd respond, yeah, there you go, sure. Exactly. And isn't it funny how the rhythm of my words into your mind. Like that. Okay. So what I'm demonstrating for you right now is this is the rhythm that I would text trance someone. As you can hear from the speed of which I am typing is it's fast. Okay? You can do the whole you can do like a this is a long passage of text for my text hypnosis, but look, think about how long someone is waiting with bated breath. I don't even know if that's how you spell it. Bated breath? With bated breath for what you will say to them right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So do you hold your breath while you're typing secret? I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Yeah, there's also fun stuff with italics and bold. What I like to do is I like to go, so listen. Now that there is funny because what I did one time to my wife, and I'm going to call her out on this one. What I did one time to my wife is I did this thing where I said to her, anything in italics is the voice, right? So there's a difference between listen, and listen, right? These are all very different vibes. Bold as well. You can do like I think 3 of these is like, yeah, that's bold italic as well. You can do that. So you can play around with like the font of everything. Font is very fun to play with. So you can really do that. But like I said, the big thing that you want to focus on and fixate on and remember when hypnotizing someone over text, the thing you want to remember is the pattern and the like the rhythm of which you do it. You need to be texting as if you're talking to someone. For me, that's very fast. For you, might not be. Who knows? Getting hypnotized in Comic Sans, yeah. So when you're doing a text hypnosis session, just remember to text as quickly as you can. Think about how sometimes sometimes you'll make spelling mistakes. The rhythm will be different. And I can do my own kind of pattern interrupt than others by doing this. So we could go from like, one time I text like this, then the next time they think I will keep and then you just throw in you just throw in like a random thing. So there you go. So got him. Yeah, there you go. So now you can all be very jealous. This is your part where you can be extremely jealous. I used to do text hypnosis sessions in the old Discord server. I probably won't do them in the new Discord server. But if you enjoy shit like that, yeah, I like playing around with text sometimes. I find it very fascinating. I really do find it fascinating to play with. Oh my god. Get up, plus. Oh my god. Yay, too advanced. No, it's okay. This is the thing. What about the forbidden emojis? Honestly, if you want to do the emoji induction, I'm more than happy. Oh my god. Also, the fun thing is, right, so when it said Celia is typing, you can play with that. You can go like, isn't it funny how you love to wait on my messages? And then you just do this for a while. Oh my God. Oh, thank you, Genji. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wait, is the link on the YouTube for the old or the new server? It should be for the new server. It should be for the new server. Secret's key smashing a rare site. Hey, fuck you. Hey, fuck you. Dom's can key smash too. Yeah, there you go. Can you just also type... Yeah, you can also just type a short message and wait a while to send it. Like, you could literally just sit on this one for like 10 minutes. And then be like... So there you go. There's ways and means to do this. I've fucked around with all kinds of stuff. My favorite time for doing text hypnosis was in the bath. I don't know why. Me lying in the bath with my phone. Just don't drop your phone in the bath. That is something I've learned from experience. Please don't drop your phone in the bath. Please don't drop your phone in the bath. Please don't. Because then you have to buy a new phone. And unless your phone's waterproof, at which point, drop your phone in the bath all you like. But, you know, just be careful. Anyway. Yep. So there we go. Right. So that's my exemplar of text hypnosis. I hope you enjoyed that. That's just a fun little thing. You should have seen me at because we did the charms class was over Discord, and I made everyone stop typing for about 5 minutes, and I said to them, please just stop typing while I do this thing, and they were like, what? So I did it live. It was very fun. There we go. So inductions were one, but now just online. So language online becomes a lot more important than offline. Why is that? You are not in the room. So you need to be a little more clear in what the intent behind your words is. And what is lost in online play is the ability to use body language and see clearly the details in how someone looks to gauge how things are going. For example, if I'm hypnotizing my wife online, in person, I know she's a flopper, which is the kind of person who flops around the place. But online, when we used to play, because she's from Australia, and so we did a lot of stuff online, right? Oh yeah, you can also use the spoilers in Discord. Yeah, you could put triggers and spoilers. That'd be really fun. Oh, that's a good idea, actually. A spoiler induction where they have to open it themselves like a little present. Ah, cute. I like that. That sounds fun. But yeah, so for example, with the floppy people, it's really hard for you to stop doing that, right? So offline, you're gonna have to be like, hey, do you have your cushions ready? You know, stuff like that. So you have to be very clear. Plus also, when my wife would flop, she'd flop out of camera, and thus I've no idea if any of what I'm doing is working, because I can't see her face. You know, if I can see your face while I'm hypnotizing you, I know exactly what I'm looking for, versus when I'm calling you over audio chat, I'm going to be listening intently for the keys that you are hypnotized, you know? So remember, like, however many lines of sight you have on a person, the easier it's going to be to hypnotize someone. So the less contact you have with someone, visually, audibly, that kind of stuff, the harder it's going to be. Which is why text hypnosis is also one of the hardest ways to do this. And it always baffles me that so many people are like, oh, text hypnosis is so easy. I'm like, is it? Because you can't see them. You don't know if they're actively responding or you know. So finding ways to really get that rapport going while you're still not in contact with someone is is a whole thing. Yeah, thankfully you're in our walls, so you have no issues, right? You're right. The cameras do help. Things get mixed up much more easily online. Think about how many times has someone made a really stupid tweet about a stupid thing that doesn't even matter anyway, and then the next minute they've been cancelled for that very stupid tweet they said. I'm not talking about the ones that are actively abusive or horrible or anything like that, but imagine the amount of times someone's made just a really bad take that's kind of stupid, but in their brain it worked, and then all of a sudden next minute they are banned off the internet, you know? Happens a lot more than we think. So nuance and meaning get lost so easily. Like social media it's complicated, you know, it's a whole thing. Yep. So just be extra careful with what you say and do during your online scenes, because also when you're dealing with people who language might not be, say for example, I speak English, I don't speak French, but if I'm playing with someone who only speaks French and they're speaking French at me to hypnotize me, I'm not going to understand what they're saying. So it's very important to, when you're playing with people, especially people from all over the globe, because we're going to be meeting people from everywhere, you know, so think about the language barrier. The language barrier online is the same, you know, so like you got to think about those things, like the language barriers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's very important to think about. Like when I say, for example, a very British thing I might say, or a very Kiwi thing I might say, right? I might say to someone like, oh yeah, mate, or something, and it might be differently construed. I'm trying to think of like a phrase that like we can say that people who don't speak English as a first language might not understand. Similes and metaphors are quite key. You might say, as if your arm is feeling heavy, as if I had turned it into stone or something. Secret admonish that she's British. I'm British. Yeah, so there you go. But they might not have that thing, you know? Yeah. So there's all kinds of things. There's lots of different sayings and phrases. I used to date somebody from France. And I remember they would always say stuff about tennis that I never understood, but apparently there's like some very famous French sayings about tennis that I just don't understand. And so, but the way they would put it was always like, huh? So yeah, going to trance based entirely on tone and cadence without being able to understand the words is an interesting thought, though. It really is. And you can, I used to get hypnotized en français, hon, without understanding French. I can speak a very basic version of French, which is very bad, even though I did 4 years of French in high school. But I can't speak French very well. But they would hypnotize me in French, but it was basically literally on tone. Yeah, so, but tone is a very powerful tool. Yes. Sticky wicket is a similar British, yeah, sticky wicket. Stuff like that. Well, when you say stuff and then they go, what? You don't want to offend anyone is what I'm trying to get at here. This is a long way of saying, you know, you don't want to upset anyone by saying something that they might not understand if they don't speak the same language as you. We would beget la drop. Yeah. La hon into trance. Because language is your biggest tool, your hypnotic language knowledge needs to be on point. Start learning and refining your hypnotic style and patterns of speech, okay? So think about like the pattern of speech that you use and your hypnotic language. So the better you are at knowing your pattern and what your favorite like ways to use your hypnotic language is for you, then like, yeah, British word for cigarette, that's a great example. Yep, I'm not going to say it because in most other countries, it's a whole thing. Norwegian, I do not know Norwegian, no, but I used to date a Norwegian. I used to date someone from Norway, but I do not know any Norwegian. I will say, the voice, mwah, chef's kiss, no notes. But like, just... yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Voice kink goes real hard. That's all I'm going to say. There we go. Which European country have you not dated someone from? I'm global. I'm a global traveler. You know when they say you've got to like kiss some frogs to find your princess? Yeah, that takes a while. And I had to travel the globe. And ironically, I settled for Australia. You're welcome, Australia. I'm doing you a service here. I love my wife. Oh, God. Yeah, filling out the Eurodex. But you found Celia. I know. I did. Ironic. How ironic is that I found her in Australia, of all places. I love that you're going to name European countries. No, I haven't dated anyone from Luxembourg. No, this is not like Eurovision, but like the Eurovision of Secrets dating life, okay? It's fine. Oh, God. Anyway. This is the struggle bus. Of course, we all have a struggle bus, and this is Hypnosis's struggle bus when it comes to online play. Again, here are the challenges and limitations of online hypnosis play. Again, you're not in the room. If something happens, you cannot help someone out, so play on the side of caution. For example, like I said with my wife and her flopping. One time she flopped on camera, and she fell out of camera. Now, I did not know if she'd fallen on the bed, off the bed, if she was okay, that kind of thing. So you really got to think about, you really have to think about safety precautions. I'm talking physical safety precautions. I'm talking mental safety precautions. Now, this is the part where I'm going to talk about something that's a little bit scary, okay? Because I didn't want to go into this too much in detail in my Charmed class, but because we've got time, I can talk about this here. Now, the funny thing about playing online is when you're playing around with someone's brain, it's already a little bit, I don't want to say dangerous because it's not dangerous per se, but what can happen is I've noticed over the years, and this is not calling any one specific group out or one specific server or one specific group of people, but I've seen over the years many, many, many times, not just once, not just twice, not even 3 times, more than that, where Discord servers in particular, groups of people, cliques can form, and when these groups of people form, sometimes they're not really good for each other. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it starts off and it's really, really nice, and then eventually it devolves into a cult. So just be very careful when you're playing online to keep safety in mind, okay? We've seen many, many, many cases where things have turned a little bit culty when people are playing, especially sexually, online, okay? So just be very, very careful, okay? Okay? Cool. Cliques always form in the community and the drama happens. Yes, and I'm not just talking about drama though. I'm talking about the cases where, so for example, say you're in a voice call with a group of people and it starts off really nice, and then every night you're there till 4 a.m. and you're very tired, but you feel like you need to be there because you're having so much fun, and sometimes you play video games, but most of the times you get fucked up in the head, and then all of a sudden you're pushing your boundaries for these people because they're your friends, right? And they wouldn't do anything to hurt you, but they might. So you just got to be very careful. Very, very, very careful. Something that a lot of people don't talk about, but I think we should talk about more in the hypnosis community is peer pressure online. There's a lot of peer pressure online. A lot of us online, we like to share our feelings and thoughts about stuff, right? That's kind of what online stuff is for. We love to be like, this is my thing, this is my jam. But unfortunately, what will happen sometimes is we'll see, for example, I might make a tweet about how hot I find being hit over the head with a frying pan. That's not my thing. It's not my kink. But maybe it is my kink. And maybe I say, oh, frying pan kink is so hot. And I put it online. And you might not think that frying pan kink is hot, but because I've said it and I'm, I guess, a slightly influential person in this community, maybe now all of a sudden you're like, yeah, that's the hottest thing ever, because you've seen a popular person saying it. So just keep in mind that, you know, the content creators out here, especially the popular people in the scene, we're not always right. We're not always right. Our opinions are not always the opinion, and just because you see something that someone says that seems like a good idea, it might not always be a good idea, so just keep that in mind, okay? I'm trying to say it in a way that's friendly without trying to be like, some people's opinions are bad, but sometimes people's opinions are bad. I'm not always right. God, there've been many times that I've been wrong on the internet, okay? Everybody makes mistakes, and everybody has not an incorrect opinion, but like a bad opinion sometimes, or a hot take or whatever. So like just keep that in mind, that even the most popular content creators, even the most popular people in the hypnotic scene may be wrong sometimes. You don't have to do everything we say, okay? Okay? Keeping fake news. You're surely incapable. No, real news. No one is perfect. But also, whatever someone else is into doesn't have to be what you're into. So if you find yourself in a position where you are changing yourself for other people, maybe you need to do some self-reflection and go, hey, is this really what I want? I've been there myself. There was a situation I was in many years ago before I was a big popular content creator. And it was this server I was involved in. And there was a situation where my boundaries got pushed. I said I didn't want to do a certain thing happened. And I found it really hard to say no, because I'm a people pleaser. Go figures. So many of us are people pleasers. What the fuck? Crazy. And I have mad rejection sensitivity for my ADHD. And I'm not giving excuses as to why I behaved the way I did, because there is no excuse for me not being able to stand up for myself. However, I found it very difficult. And so when I finally did speak up for myself, my boundaries were not respected. And in fact, I was removed from that space. Well, I had to leave that space for my own safety. And to this day, a lot of people still judge me for that situation. And it just really upset me at the time. It doesn't upset me now, because obviously I've grown a lot from that moment. But because back then I was, I didn't know I had ADHD. I didn't know all this shit. I didn't know how to say no for myself. I found it very difficult to be put in that position. And back then, I wasn't a dom, I was a sub. You know, I used to sub all the time back then. And so, especially when you're a submissive in this community and you are a people pleaser, it can get really hard sometimes to put your foot down, especially when you put your foot down and then everyone goes, you're wrong. So just keep in mind that sometimes things will happen and it's not always nice. And every community that you find, even if it seems nice on the surface, might not be underneath it all. So just be very, very careful about where you're playing and who you're playing with. Again, this is always why I'm really stressing, like if you have a gut feeling that this is a bad idea, it probably is. Trust your gut, learn your boundaries, and be... Yeah, my thing was I was really hesitant to put down boundaries that were stronger. A lot of what was happening at the time, and I've seen a lot of this, like this stuff still continues, and it really bugs me. And what really bugs me about everything is when you're in a space with people and they say, your boundaries are respected, but then if you say no to this thing that I'm doing, you are not going to be played with anymore. And that's exactly what used to happen back in the day. A lot of these spaces, if you weren't a yes person, you were not played with. And I feel like I'm hoping that's changed. I'm really hoping that's changed. I don't play online anywhere near as much as I used to because of that kind of stuff, but I'm hoping it's changed. So if that kind of thing is continuing, where you're noticing that, yeah, guilt tripping, yep, and that's what I'm saying, peer pressure, guilt tripping, any kind of that kind of mental manipulation, if you notice any of those red flags, I would either use your best judgment and maybe back off a little bit, or use your best judgment and just be like, is this a place I want to be in? Yeah, people pleasing is not healthy. So please learn to say no. If you are like me and you have people pleasing tendencies and you are like, it's a problem, it's becoming a problem, look at yourself in the mirror and learn to say no, you know? Learn to say no, learn to just be like, no. And you know what? Back yourself. Yeah, this is becoming really, this is a really serious chat, and I'm sorry to make it so serious, but also it's a very serious topic because I've seen so many. There was a server I was in where people were getting assaulted. It was horrific. And I'm not just talking online. Some of the stuff happened in person as well. So just be very careful. It's very serious. Yep. What? I'm serious. Yeah, this was like 2016, 2017, way back in the day. But just be like this shit happens. I've seen it happen. I've heard it happen. I've heard whisperings of it on the ether. It happens. It doesn't happen as much as it used to from what I've heard, but also this does happen. Please keep that in mind. Okay. Yeah, it's a very serious subject. Yeah, and you have to be serious about this, you know? People online are people, people online are people. We're all human beings and we're all just trying to have a good time. And I think that sometimes people start treating somebody who they've met online as just a thing to play with instead of a person. And that's where things get really messy. So you just have to it still scares the shit out of me. So I probably won't be able to try anything tonight, but I do appreciate it. Someone trying to practice subject. Yeah. And don't be so scared that it cuts you off from the scene, because that's just as bad, right? Isolation is unfortunately something that does happen. I know for me, for a long time after I left the server that I was in where the situation happened, I felt really isolated. And I think that was part and parcel of the problem, because the isolation was really bad. It felt really bad. You know, I felt like a pariah for a while, actually, you know, because I was labeled as a certain person and I didn't like that at all. So you just have to be very, very careful with who you put your trust into. Just like in person, how, you know, when you're dating people, or when you're going to play parties, or when you're meeting new people or making friends, trust is important. And not everybody deserves your trust. Okay, so there we go. Very important. So I feel like online, this conversation is something that is way more important than it is in person. And I'm not saying it's not important in person. It is, but in person there are flags that you can clearly see. If someone's acting creepy, it's very easy to see. Online, a little bit harder to see. Genji, thank you so much for the super chat. I do a fair bit of roleplay on Reddit and Discord. I'm sad to say there are definitely still people who need things their way, or they drop you. Yeah, I'm thankful for the chill partners. Yep, I agree. Thank you so much, Genji, for the super chat. So you just have to be very, 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 very careful. Okay, doms are people too. Exactly, doms are people too. As somebody who's now a dom on the internet, can I tell you that the differences between being a sub and being a dom online, you get treated very differently. Doms sometimes get treated a little bit like trance dispensers, and subs sometimes get treated like they have to act a certain way or they don't get dropped. So I mean, that's how it used to be anyway, for me in particular. And this is why I'm not someone who plays a lot. I play with very specific people who I trust, and even then I change my mind about who I can trust if I see any red flags. Because I'm very much like, if I see a whiff of a red flag, I'm like, cool, bye. You know, so just be very careful, okay? Also, remember, not everything works online as it does in person. Lack of play partners or places to play can be a thing. There are seriously, I've been trying for the last couple years to see if I would play with people again, and the answer was always a resounding no thanks. So like sometimes it can be really hard to find the person that you want to play with. Safety risks might be higher online due to not knowing people as well as you can IRL. IRL, you can really get to know someone, and even then you can still get hurt. But online, it's like the Wild West out here, so you just got to be extra careful. And I'm not saying you should go around being super, super skeptical on everyone all the time. That's also just as bad, because you don't want to be the person who's like, you know, I'm not going to talk to anyone. However, you do want to make sure that you know people. Lack of accountability mixed with anonymity can really be an issue. And this one sucks so hard, because when you make things anonymous, people get weird. I mean, I've read Tumblr asks. Genji, thank you for the super chat. Always remember they're real people with real lives. Exactly. Think about like how many times I've been on Tumblr a bit recently, and the amount of times I get a weird anonymous ask from someone is crazy. The amount of you guys who DM me on, and I'm not saying you in the chat right now because it's probably not, but there's so many people on Tumblr in particular who DM me, and because it's anonymous or behind a screen name, they'll say the wildest shit to me. Like, I will see some messages on Tumblr that are like, hey baby, wanna be hypnotized? Here's my spiral and a picture of my peen. And it's like, what? I don't know who you are. You know, or vice versa. I have lots of really thirsty, please, 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 mistress, please, please, please. Okay, now if you met me at a party in real life, would you do that? Probably not. You'd probably see me across the room and go, oh cool, secret's here. And then you'd come and talk to me, and we'd chat and we'd chill. You wouldn't come over to me. Like, imagine we were at a play party and you waltzed over to me and you immediately said, mistress, and you dropped to your knees in front of me. Mistress, please take my mind right now. That's embarrassing. That's really embarrassing. It sounds cute. It's not cute. That's exactly the equivalent of what people are doing online. So yeah, don't behave like that. So think about anonymity and stuff makes people really weird. So just be careful. Yeah, that would be such a nightmare for you. I know. You're like, cool. I don't know who you are. Please get up. Oh God. Yeah. So just keep that in mind, you know, learn some icebreakers. And I'm talking specifically about when you're meeting people in person. Obviously through audios and through role plays and fantasies and stuff, people get really caught up in the fantasy of everything, and that's okay. I understand some of you really like the fantasy. That's cool. But in real life, holy shit, it's whoa. Okay. Shyness or privacy concerns. If you have privacy concerns, you should, and please make a kink account. So if you are playing online, please make yourself a kink email. Use that kink email to sign up to FetLife, to sign up to Tumblr, to sign up to Twitter, etc., to sign up to Discord. Do not use your private email. Do not use your personal private email with your full legal name in it to sign up for kinky stuff, especially right now. Right now we're having some issues on the internet where very soon people's IDs are probably going to have to be put online at some point, which is scary as fuck. As someone who puts her ID, I put my ID online all the time because I have a Patreon, I have a prawn hub and all that kind of stuff, and they require me to be ID'd to use those platforms as a content creator. So I'm telling you, this shit is not fun. And quite scary. Yes, your Gmail will show your registered name to anyone looking at your email. Yes. So also make sure when you sign up for your kink email, if you're using things like Gmail or Hotmail, make up a fake name. Come up with mine is always secret subject. Like, that's my fucking legal name. People think, yes, first name secret, last name subject. That's it, you know. So come up with something. Yeah, you should use email address used for job applications. You shouldn't use the email address used for job applications for participating in kink spaces. Yep, do not do that. Whatever you're using for your real life thing, then you're going to use a different. Yeah, someone's recommending Tutor Mail. Yeah, we could use that. So yeah, use a display name, use a fake name. Some people have made up fake names for the kink space, and I really love that. Like a fake name. Love it. I think that's great. You should do that. So think about anonymity. If you really are stressed, also get like a VPN or something, you know, just in case you're really worried about like your ID getting thingied. So yeah, just what about the guy who sent his email in the questions? That guy sent me his kink email. It was not a name. It was a kink email. It was clear. I don't want to say what the email was, but it was clearly a kink email. So just keep that in mind. You can put your weird fetish in it if you really want to, but just think about like an email that is separate, because you do not want to be using your work accounts for your kink accounts. That is the ultimate cringe. Don't do that. Background noise, parents, pets, family, roommates. You live in a house, I think. Some of you might not live in a house. Maybe you live somewhere else, but if you live with people, know that sometimes in the middle of your scene, a person may walk in. Now, for many years, I lived with my parents. I was making hypnotic recordings in my bedroom while living with my parents. Imagine how that went down when my mum found out that I do this online. That was a fun conversation to have, and luckily I was yep, had to have that chat. So don't be like me. Don't be like me. Keep it to yourself if you really want to. If this is your secret, that's cool. I had to go public with mine, but if you want to keep this a secret, think about like doing this when the family is not in the house. If your dog is gonna jump on your lap while you're in the middle of trance, that's gonna be a little bad, isn't it? Because you're gonna have a dog licking your face while you're in trance. That's not fun. So make sure your dog is in the other room, maybe. Think about emergencies and things like that. Do you have roommates? If your roommates are also not hypno-kinksters, that's probably a little bit of a questionable thing. Yep, be able to wake yourself up if needed. If your parents come home and all of a sudden you're like, shit, my parents are home, make sure you can wake up so they don't find you in a compromising position. So there you go. So just think about that. Yeah, see, locking the door. Yep, you might want to think about, can I lock my door safely? Is it safe for me to lock my door? Is there a way to get out in case there's a fire? Things like that. You know, if you can't lock your door, is there a separate room you could go into? I used to do hypnosis on the floor in my garage because my bedroom was next to my brother's room, and I really didn't want my brother knowing what I was up to, because, you know, he shouldn't have to be involved in my weird shit. So I used to head over to the garage. I used to sit in the corner of my garage and do my hypnosis recordings and talk to people online and do sessions and stuff in the corner of my garage on a very uncomfortable garage carpet, which I think had some oil on it. It was always kind of gross. Always use earbuds. Yeah, using headphones and keeping that private. Don't do it on the speakers if you don't want everyone to know. If you don't want your neighbors to know what you're super into, maybe don't put the hypnosis audios on the giant speakers you have in your house. So like thinking about that. So thinking about privacy and safety concerns. There will be a time when somebody will interrupt you. Somebody will walk in the room and you'll be like, oh shit. So just think about that and think about, what will I do if somebody happens to interrupt my session today? Do I have an option for waking myself up? Cool beans. Yeah, blasting secret subject audio full blast on the bus is probably not a good idea. You know, it's like the people who do hypnosis on the train going home from work. If you don't want people to know what you're into, maybe keep the safe for work stuff for the train ride home and not the other stuff. You know, thinking about that kind of stuff. Also thinking about consent, right? Consent goes for people in public too. People outside of the house didn't consent to hearing you listening to your weird kinky hypnosis file, so don't do that. So there we go. And think about background noise in terms of like your audio. Maybe if your house is too loud, I can't actually hear what you're saying. So while you're in trance and you're actually telling me that you're not having a good time and you want to stop, I can't hear you. So think about that. Yep. Also look out for car radios that autoplay Bluetooth audio. The amount of times I've accidentally put my phone on in the car and I had to check if it was a hypnosis audio or music. So too many times. All right, so think about that. Also, not every space is made equal. We talked about this earlier, but leadership in Discord servers can fail sometimes. We saw recently with the big thing that happened with our erotic hypnosis, that sometimes leadership is bad, actually, and sometimes the leadership of these spaces is not always good. Because remember, just because you're a popular person online doesn't mean that you're a good person. It doesn't mean that you have good opinions or good leadership skills or that kind of stuff. So just think about that. And if you're in a space and you're noticing things starting to go a bit sour, maybe think about finding other spaces where it's a bit more friendly. Also, remember, not every single space is going to be for your taste online. There are going to be spaces online where, for example, there's very specific places where some people really, really, really are into like a specific part of hypnosis kink, winky, nudge, nudge. I'm not going to say no names, but if you're into that kind of stuff, you might want to go with other people who like that stuff too. You know, if you're into hypnotic bondage, you might want to find a group who's really into hypnotic bondage too. Or like IQ play or bimbification, all that kind of stuff. Maybe you don't want to be in with generic people who have generic other kinks, or maybe you do. So just think about like where you are in your hypnotic journey, and if you see stuff happening in Discords that you are not into, that's cool. There are other places. There are so many spaces these days with a variety of rules. Or gloves, for example. Don't bring up the glove. Do not. Glove guy hasn't come back yet, so don't. You know? So, like, yeah. Think about that. Okay, safety first. How do we keep ourselves safe online? Plan for interruptions. Internet dropout is a thing. We can't control when it happens, but we can control how we deal with it, okay? So, think about if the internet drops out, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? My wife used to live in Australia. Australia is known for having shitty fucking internet. And her internet was like the most shit. So if you have shitty fucking internet, you know the call's going to drop out at a moment's notice. You figure out a way to put that into the thing. So we used to do this thing where we'd say, hey, if the internet does drop out at any time, you are going to wake yourself up out of trance and you're going to message me and say, the internet cut out. I'll be back soon. You know, you're going to go get some water and then you're going to come back and we're going to talk about that. Know beforehand how private session spaces. We talked about this earlier. Are you in a house with other people? Emergencies happen. Make sure you have a place for them. If for example, the other day I was on a voice call with somebody and my tsunami alarm went off. New Zealand has a tsunami alarm. And I think what happened was there was an earthquake in Russia. And I think the earthquake also hit a bit of Japan. But when that hit, New Zealand got a tsunami alert, and I'm telling you, these things are really stupid loud. But I was on a voice call with someone. Luckily, we weren't doing hypnosis. Thank God. That would have been very, very disappointing. But my tsunami alert went off, and it's loud as fuck because it has to be to warn you. But the problem is there was an issue with the tsunami alert system, so mine went off twice. The span of 10 minutes and I can't turn it off. So if I'd been hypnotizing someone and my tsunami alert went off, that probably would have surprised them. So just keep that in mind, that emergencies happen. Make sure you've got a plan in place. For example, when my tsunami alarm goes off in the middle of the scene, you will easily and effortlessly wake yourself up out of trance and be able to go about your day. We can discuss that, whether or not I need to leave the house. And timekeeping online can be hard. I mean, as somebody who's looking at the clock now and going, oh shit, it's been 2 hours. Just know that time is a thing. And please be aware that time zones are a fucking nightmare. For example, right now it's 1 p.m. on a Sunday in New Zealand. For you, it's probably not that time. So when I play with people online, unfortunately, a lot of the times people would either ask me to be available at 4 a.m. Are you going to talk about aftercare, by the way? I will. I forgot to in my class at Charmed, but I'm going to here. I don't have a slide for it, but I will discuss it at the end. So timekeeping is a shit show. Okay. So yeah, see 1 a.m. So when I used to play with my ex who lived in Paris, I used to have to be awake at 5 a.m. if I wanted to talk to them. You know. So thinking about stuff like that, like. If I'm calling someone from the UK and it's 12 hours different, we might find a time that both of us can do. For example, maybe you're good at 9 a.m. or I'm good at 9 a.m. but and 9 p.m. for you. So remember, sleep is important for everyone. And if you're constantly making someone get up at 5 a.m. to go do a session with you, that's not very kind. So making sure that you're respectful of people's time as well. People have lives and jobs, and it's not very fun. It's not very fun. So to always have to be playing catch up on your sleep because you're too busy playing. And yeah, it's really fun to play with people. Just thinking about respecting everybody's time. Okay, cool. It's also why I like live streaming these, because it means that, sure, some of you are here live, which is amazing. It's very early in the morning though, however. So, for those of you who are here at 1 a.m. in the morning, you might not want to watch this every week at 1 a.m. So I'm going to respect your time by also providing a VOD that you can watch later in case you're like, I need to go to sleep. That's cool. Just keep that in mind that, I don't want anyone to be sleep depriving themselves, because sleep deprivation is actually really serious and can really, really affect your entire physical being. And there's no reason... Yeah, I thought this was the VOD. It is the VOD. So just really make sure that you think about your own health and your own safety as well. It's very important. And the safety and comfort of other people too. So yeah, timekeeping is hard. I will give you some tips and tricks for timekeeping with people who are foreign. I'm constantly having to find out what time it is in America, for example, because I have a lot of American friends. And so the biggest tip for me is Discord timestamps are really handy. If you Google Discord timestamp, what you can do is you find a time that works for you and you just send them the timestamp. And that timestamp will say the same time, the correct time for you and for them in their own time zone. So there you go. So that's a really great way of if you really want to, or getting a calendar, like a Google Calendar set up, make a kinky Google Calendar. Go, hey, I've made a Google Calendar. Here's the time. You send them the time. It will change in their own time zone. That's very handy. Same with YouTube. My YouTube live streams all come up in your own time zone. It will tell you exactly what time it is for you. So I don't have to bother by telling you it's 11 a.m. on Sunday morning in New Zealand, because you don't need to know that it's 11 a.m. on Sunday morning in New Zealand. So there we go. Or just move to be with the person. There's that too. I did that for my wife. I told her, just move here. She went, fine. So there's that. You can also use something called Savvy Time. I love Savvy Time. Savvy Time is really handy. It's this thing online. You Google Savvy Time. I think it's like SAVVY time. And what it does, it gives you a slider, which is really nice. You can put in their time zone, put in your time zone, slide the slider till you find a time that works for both of you. But when to meet is a great one. If you've got a group of people, you're trying to meet up with all of your people like online for a gaming session or some hypno or whatever, when to meet. It gives you the availability to look at what everyone's schedules are like, which is very fun. Also, my wife and I used to do this all the time with our friends and with each other. You can actually have clocks. I don't know why I'm holding my phone up to the screen. I don't know why I'm holding my phone up to the screen. Because you can't see my phone. But if you could see my phone, there are clocks. I set up a clock. So I look at, there's a clock feature on your phone. If you're on an Android phone, I don't know how it is for iOS, but on Android, you can actually go into your clock feature and you can set up overseas clocks. So when you open your phone, you can see, oh, it's 8 p.m. in Boston right now. Secret phone, we can't see, I know. Shh, it's the secret phone. A phone has a secondary VTube model? No, it doesn't. What? Why would I have a secondary YouTube? Why would I need a second model? For whom? For whomst? Thank you, Genji, for the super chat. Respect if they can't make a day or need a break. Exactly. If somebody says, hey, I'd love to do a third session with you this week, but I need to sleep, be respectful and don't be like, what? You're not my sub anymore. Nah, at them. If you behave like that, that's not nice. So, so there we go. So this isn't a VTube model. This is just what secret. This is my face. This is my face. Red flag right there. Yeah, if someone gets all shitty with you because they can't see you at 3 a.m. every single night for 5 nights, that is a huge red flag. So be courteous with people. And I know I shouldn't have to stress this be courteous thing, but as someone who lives in New Zealand, I can tell you it's a pain in the fucking ass when everyone else is what is it? Not accustomed, accumulated. Nope, I'll get there eventually. Hold on. Accustomed, accumulated, not accosted. No, that's not the one. What's that word? Acclimated, something like that. Yes, like yeah, acclimated, that kind of thing. Accommodated. I thank you. See, you read my mind. You read my mind. Accommodated. Yeah, so when everyone else is accommodated for and not you, I've been that person and it sucks. Even in Australian, I used to be in Australian spaces and they'd always be like, this is what time it is in Australia time. And I'm like, oh, fuck you guys, man. The fucking New Zealanders here staying up to like 3 a.m. every night because the Australians want a game. You're like, damn it, guys. You had one job, and that is to make it accessible for all of us to have a good time. And no, okay, if your game night is always at 10 p.m., I'm not going to be there because I'm an old woman and I need my sleep. I'm tired. I'm a tired bitch, okay? I get, all right. We're still talking about safety, the perils of online dating and hypnosis. Like online dating, finding online play partners might take some trial and error. It is very important to watch for signs of uncomfortability in people, because if someone is uncomfortable, it means that play should not happen. These could be, if someone doesn't want to talk to you or they're ghosting you, don't harass them. The amount of times, like, I've seen people go, this person ghosted me and I just want to talk to them so badly. No. If they're ghosting you, don't talk to them. Find someone else. Not one to be responsible trying to change topics or subjects. If someone's like frantically trying to change the topic from doing hypnosis with you, it's probably for a reason. Same with you. If you are a person who is constantly using avoiding methods to avoid that one person in the group chat, maybe even just be honest with somebody. Maybe tell a mod or be like, hey, I actually feel really uncomfortable with this person. I don't want to talk to them. Is that okay? Not wanting to be in the same space as a person. If you're constantly leaving Discord servers because someone makes you uncomfortable, that's probably a sign that you probably shouldn't be around them, and maybe you need to tell someone. Or vice versa. If you notice that someone keeps avoiding you and you keep joining servers, maybe don't. Unless you want to get a message from the mod saying, hey, you're being a problem, okay? If someone isn't comfortable with your advances, please stop. Please stop, okay? The amount of times I've seen people message me and go, Secret, I really want to play with this person, but they don't want to bar with me. Leave them alone. Find someone else, okay? Not everybody's going to work well together. And maybe you need to do some soul searching and think about potentially why someone might not want to play with you anymore, okay? Thank you, Genji, for the super chat. Always be patient. If they don't respond, fine. Exactly. Be patient. Maybe they're busy. I mean, God, the amount of times I've been busy and I've just forgotten to respond to someone because I have ADHD, it happens. So just think about that, okay? Okay? Mm-hmm. Yep. I want to get messaged by your mods, Secret, though. Me too. My mods are cool. I like my mods. They're great. Nothing sucks more than you tell them to stop, or I'm not interested and they continue. Yes, and I've been there. I have been that person who's been harassed by people before, and I can tell you, not very fun. So just, yeah. If you are being harassed and you're in a Discord server, tell a mod. If you're in a space, just do your best. Just do your best. Make sure you have safeties in place. Like, tell a friend what you're doing when you're about to play with someone. For example, a few months ago, I had a very serious session with a friend. And I say very serious because it was really intense and we knew it was going to be a really intense session. So I told my wife, and I said to my wife, hey, babe, first of all, are you cool with me doing this? She said, yes. I said, cool. This is what's going to happen. And I told my friend who was doing the hypnotizing on me to tell my wife what was going to happen. So they messaged my wife. They told her this is what's going to happen. I'm going to destroy her and I'm going to put her back together. But I will return her fully functioning. That's fine. Cool. So like we have that all laid out because it's very important. It's very important that, you know, you should tell someone. It's a bit like if you go to a party, you know, you would tell a friend, hey, I'm going to this party. I've met this person and we're going on a date for the first time, because, you know, they want to make sure you get home in one piece, right? Like any date, they want to make sure that you are safe and comfortable, you know, and have an out. So for example, if I had a session with a friend and it wasn't going very well, I would text my wife. Yeah, like imagine you're meeting up with someone from Tinder. You would tell a friend, hey, bestie, I met this guy on Tinder and we're going on this date. I just want to tell you because in case something goes wrong, I'm going to like message you and say, help, not going good, and you're going to come and pick me up from the cafe that we're going to meet at, okay? Cool. Same thing with hypnosis play online. If you are playing online, you might want to tell someone what you're doing. If you've got a friend who's also hypnotically inclined, excellent. If you have a friend who's not hypnotically inclined, but you want to give them like a code and say, I'm going on a date. I'm going on a date with someone tonight, and this date might be a bit intense, and, you know, so could you just like, if I text you, could you just like call me and I could make up an excuse and be like, oh shit, my friend's calling, whoops, gotta go, bye. You know, so just make sure you're keeping yourself safe, and tell people what you're doing. Vet your play partners. If you are meeting a new person for the first time and they're in a Discord server, you could ask around and say, hey, has anyone played with Sleepy McSleepy 69? And is Sleepy McSleepy 69 any good at this? What do you guys think? You know, see what their reputation is. Even Google their kink name and see if they've got any social media. They might have a Twitter that has some horrifically intense kink that you're not ready for. The amount of times I've had friends and I've checked their Twitter and I've gone, yikes. And I'm not judging my friends. I love my friends, but when I've seen some of the stuff that they post on their kink Twitter, I'm like, cool, that is not for me. And that is okay. I felt quite vanilla, actually. The only time in my life I felt vanilla, reading some of my friends' Twitter pages. I'm like, damn, you guys are kinky. Holy shit. But anyway, so stuff like that. Check their FetLife. If they're on FetLife, you could always check their FetLife, because the last thing you want is to read like a massive essay they've written on FetLife on why they hate all subs and subs are the worst people ever. And next minute you're like, wait, aren't I supposed to be playing this person as a sub? So think about kind of stuff like that. Yeah. Check their Tumblr out, you know, do some like snooping. And if someone's really uncomfortable sending you their Tumblr page, you have to ask yourself why. I used to have a couple of friends back in the day who were really like, I would never show you my Tumblr, my kink Tumblr. And I'm like, you know my kink Tumblr, so why? That gives me questions. Lots and lots of questions. So yeah, you just gotta like do some vetting, okay? And if someone's like giving you some flags about that, you might want to ask yourself why. You can also install hypnotic safeties and train subject agency. Now, this part of the chat became a little controversial at Charmed because some people disagree with the idea of installing hypnotic safeties, and that is okay. Whatever makes it more comfortable for you, do that, okay? For some people, that is using a hypnotic safety that a friend puts in you, or that you put in yourself, or you listen to an audio that does it. Anything that makes you feel more comfortable, do that. If having a safety trigger to get you out, like a push in case of emergency button in your brain to break the glass in case of I have to wake myself up and get out of this, then think about that. But you know, yeah. Genji, thank you for the super chat. Rule of thumb I use for Pilates to provide a list of kinks and hard limits. Yeah, that's a great idea. And in fact, check the intro sections of the Discord servers you're in, because in the intro sections, a lot of people will actually put their do's and don'ts in terms of kinks. So if somebody says my kink is breath play, I'm using mine. My kinks are breath play, IQ play, serious mind effing, brainwashing. Maybe you're into a little bit of like, I feel like I'm put on spot, amnesia play, rug play, fantasy rug play. I just love those rugs, man. Those rugs, they're so comfy, so cozy, so woolen. That kind of stuff. So if you're into that kind of stuff, and then you see my list and you go, wow, secrets into some weird shit, I don't like that. That's okay. Because you might see my list and go, whoa, whereas your list might be completely different to mine, and I might see your list and go, whoa, okay, that's a bit for me. You know, so keep that in mind. If you meet someone on a Discord server and you feel like you're getting into some weird places, and you're like, okay, check their bio and see what they say. Yeah. Mess me up. Anyway, so there we go. So vetting people is important. So hypnotic safeties and subject agency. I recommended my safety blanket file. I'm going to recommend it again. And I know there's some people out here who say you should never train safeties using an audio because an audio just can't do it the way that you can. And that is so valid and so true. However, for those of us who might not have a community of people around us, I personally don't feel super connected to the community at large. I don't have a friend who could put a safety in me. However, there are audios out there that could. And when I was first starting out with hypnosis, I found it really comforting to know I had friends who would put safeties in me. I had audios that I would listen to remind me of my safeties. And I'm not saying that is an end all be all and that is going to protect you, because it might or it might not. But what it does do is it does reinforce the fact that you are your own person and you can say no whenever you need to. And if you have to wake yourself up, you can. Okay? So there are files out there. I'm not saying they're the best thing to do. I'm saying whatever works for you, and however however you can feel safe and comfy, that is what you need to do for you, okay? It's very important that if you are a sub in this community that you, or switch, hey, I'm a switch too, I get it. If you're a switch or a sub in this community, yep, just make sure that you can wake yourself up if you need to, because it's very important. It's an important skill to have. There was one time I was playing with this guy, and I knew this guy for a little bit, right? And I knew this guy for a little bit, but we were playing and we were doing a session, and I said to him my hard limit, because at the time I had a partner, and my partner was my dom, and you know, we used to use the term, you know, he was my master at the time. I had one, and it was very special. And for me, that word is when I'm in a DS dynamic with somebody like that, and someone's my dom, I'm very specific with who could be called that word. So I was like, this is my dom, this is my master. No one else is allowed to be called that. And the guy said, I'm cool with that. During the session, the guy was really pushing on me that I was going to call him that word. And I was like, uh-oh. And so the first time we did it, I was like, in trance. I was like, nope. And then he pushed and he pushed and he pushed to the point that I had to wake myself up and be like, yo, there was one line and you just crossed it. You just crossed that line, dude. That's it. That's the one thing. You had one job, dude. You had one fucking job. Your one job is not to do that. So don't do that. So at that point, it was very important for me to wake myself up out of trance and assert my boundary. Hey, you had one job. You crossed the line. That's enough. We're not doing this anymore. And at that point, we stopped the play. Stop the play. That was enough. You know, so there are situations where that will happen. And I'm not saying they should, because they should never happen. That should never, ever, ever have happened. However, this is a common occurrence that does happen. Why would you do that? I know, it's such a clear boundary. It's like it's because he was getting really into it, I think. And he was just like, I really want this out of her. It would sound so sexy if she said this to me right now. But just because you're thinking with your horny brain doesn't mean that it's a good idea. It was not a good idea. So there we go. So it's all good. The bot will be here. Bye. It's a learning experience. Yeah, but this is why it's very important. So how does someone wake themselves out of trance? The easiest way is just practice it. So when you're in a trance, next time you're doing your audio file, just stop. At some point, go, I'm going to wake myself up, and go, okay. Or set an alarm. So for example, if you know you're listening to one of my files that's 25 minutes long, set an alarm at 10 minutes. You go, okay, 10 minutes I'll be in trance. Set an alarm. Wake yourself up. There you go. That's a good practice method, I would say. And honestly, if I was doing this again now, I probably would do that. But now I'm actually very good at waking myself up. I didn't used to be. I am now. So, So yeah, force waking up from a bad dream. Yeah, you just got to really like push it through. Subject agency, it can be really easy to jump into situations online without knowing what you're getting into, so make sure you know the person or people that you're playing with and establish hard and soft boundaries early on in the relationship. If you say to them, you are not my dom, you cannot treat me like you are my dom, and they treat you like you are their sub, and you said that's a limit for me, then red flag. Yeah, so just make sure you really know the people you're playing with. And it's funny because I've had friends in this community for a really long time, and I've had sessions with some of my friends where I've gone, wow, I really didn't know you as well as I thought I did. You know, like there are situations where you can know someone for years and still like not know them as well as you think they did, especially in this community. So just keep that in mind, that sometimes people will surprise you and it won't always be in a good way. So just keep that in mind. Look out for those red flags. If you see them happening, you can just start going, nah. Like dating, there might be a few dicks involved in online play. Gotta wade through the dicks first, you know? Gotta wade through the dicks to find the nice people, okay? The perils of the group chat. We talked about this a little bit. Peer pressure is a really important thing. It's a thing that does happen online. Hive mind mentality happens online. These things are really awful. And when you get stuck in a situation where you are in like a group that has turned and it's all becoming very toxic, it can be really hard to get in and out of. So just please be careful. I'm not going to read through this slide. I don't need to. We've talked about this before. But think about all this shit. This happens online a lot more than I care to admit. It's happened to me. It's happened to loads of people I've talked to. It sucks. It really sucks. And I wish this wasn't the case, but this does happen. This doesn't just happen in kink spaces. This happens in any space. This happens in friend groups online. This happens in like, I'm a VTuber. This happens in VTuber groups. This happens in all kinds of stuff. This happens in dating and all this kind of shit. It can happen, and just be very careful. Okay? Safety first. Privacy first. We talked about this. Do not use legal names in kinks. Do not dox. I'm going to go through this bottom part because we've already talked about this whole thing about like locations and stuff and talk about locations. We're going to talk about this last part. See you later. Bye-bye. Do not dox your friends. If you know where someone lives, don't tell anyone. If you know your friend lives at 55 Very Real Road in Idaho, then you're not going to go and say, oh, the other day I was at 555 Very Real Road, Idaho, at a play party at my best friend's house on Twitter to tell everybody where your friend now lives, okay? If you're going to a club, for example, when I go to BDSM events, I'd never say the name of the bar, okay? I'm not going to go into Twitter and go, hey guys, I'm going to go hang out at Barry McBarface. You know, that's my address. Yeah, exactly. If you know where they live, just don't. Yeah, don't even say like the state, okay? If you know somebody lives in, for example, I've got loads of friends in, let's just make up a place, Adelaide. I don't. If you're like, hey, all my friends live in Radelaide, you're not going to go and tell everybody that I love the kink scene in Radelaide. Oh my God. So just don't do that. Don't do that. It's very hard. I know you get excited. Yeah, doxing is a crime. Doxing is a crime in New Zealand. I'm pretty sure doxing is a crime in New Zealand. So just be careful. So just don't dox people, please. Adelaide isn't made up. No, Adelaide is real. But Radelaide isn't the nick. I learned this. I went there recently. So I know what this place is. I've been there. But yeah, don't show people's legal names, okay? Don't be Sniper Wolf. Yeah, don't turn up at someone's house with a phone on Twitter Live going, hey, I'm outside the play party. Do not take photos at play parties, okay? Don't take photos at play parties. Do not screenshot Discord parties as well. One time, and this is really embarrassing, and I'm going to tell you the story because it hopefully will help you be safe, but please don't do this because this is a really scary, horrible situation. A few years ago, when I used to show my face online, which again, many, many moons ago, I think we're talking 2019, 2020, I was in a Discord call with a bunch of people on camera, and a friend of mine did a session with me, and I happened to be very tired because I work a lot. Oh my God, thank you, Charlie. Don't screenshot Colin Crocs. No, don't. You can't anymore because she's dead. Anyway, Lana died a long time ago. I'm so sorry about that. Sorry for your loss, but that's okay. She's in a better place now. I'm assuming Hawaii with some sort of Mai Tai. But anyway, so I was in a Discord call and I had my camera on, and we'd just been doing some play, and I'd had a really busy week and I fell asleep. And one of my fans, I'm not saying a friend because they were not a friend, they were a fan, took it upon themselves to screenshot a picture of me asleep and posted it in one of the other channels, basically going, hey, look, Secret fell asleep on the Discord call and here's her face while she's sleeping. Yeah, it was really scary and very bad, and it was a horrible situation to have happen, and it resulted in that person getting banned from the Discord, immediately banned from the Discord for that, because again, do not take screenshots of people's faces, because for me, while I am not lucky to have this situation happen to me. This is a horrible situation to have happen to anyone. However, because I am a public persona, my face is on the internet. If you Google secret subject, you will see photos of my face. It's just how the internet works. It remembers everything, unfortunately. Had somebody have posted that picture to Twitter, it would have been horrific. It would not have been as bad for me as it would have been for Jenny What's-Her-Face, who works at a very corporate business, who does hypno-kink in her spare time, you know. But for me, it was one of these situations where I was like, it would have been rough, but it wouldn't have been as bad as it would have been for someone who was stupidly private. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So even though it was a shitty thing to do, it could be ruinous for somebody who is a very serious business person who does this in their spare time. So do not do that. This is also the reason why at conventions you are not allowed your phone. recently there've been I shouldn't be telling you this, but I'm going to. Recently, people have been, what do you call it? They have been at some of the online conventions, they have been screen recording some of the classes and putting them online, which could dox people, because there are people who teach these classes who are extremely private, who are now on video camera talking about their kinks, and that is fucked up. Don't do that. It's so upsetting to me. When I hear that kind of shit, I'm like, for me, I record my classes. I want to record my classes. That's fine. But for other people who did not consent to that, don't fucking do that. That's terrible. So doxing is bad. Funny that. Long story short, doxing is bad. We're all surprised. Wow. So yeah, this is why it's super important that, remember, think about your boundaries. If you're worried that somebody's going to do what they did to me, they might. So just keep that in mind and think about, this is why I'm a VTuber. Somebody said, is this why you're a VTuber? Kind of, yes. Sorry, I'm also noticing the time because I've got to be out of here in half an hour. So I'm gonna speed through the rest of this. But yeah, doxing bad. Think about locations and location sharing. Turn it off before you post a post. Turn off your location sharing. Trust me, the internet loves to try and share your location. Don't let it do it. Don't do it. Thank you, Kenji, for the super chat. Also, please don't demand pictures of your partner. Yes, do not demand a picture of your partner. If you really want to see them, you should organize a date. Yeah, turn off your location sharing. Just turn it off. It's bad. It's really bad. This is from an internet person. I can tell you, as a lady who lives inside the internet, it's bad. Don't do it. No, it's bad. Use your best judgment. But remember also that common sense is not that common these days. So yeah, hardware mute on mics is great. Yeah, anything you can get to protect yourself, do it. Cool. Some fun stuff. This is some fun stuff. Falling, and other fun online spiral things. And how to hide links and other links for friends. Again, gauge consent and safety first. Now, falling is something I'm going to curse all of you with. Something I recently got back into. Falling is a video where basically, oh my god, hold on one second, is a video. Dear God. Oh my good Lord. Is a little video thing. Oh my god, hold on, bear with. Sorry, I'm getting so distracted. I'm trying to do too many things at once. Oh no. No secret way to play. I'm not gonna play it. No, I'm not gonna play it. I love that I go quiet for a second to go grab something for someone and you go, no secret, don't. Save yourself. Protect yourself, everybody. Oh god, good Lord. There we go. Oh, good God. I'm not going to play falling. Look, I'm not that much of an idiot, okay? I'm an idiot, but I'm not that stupid, okay? I am stupid, but I'm not that stupid. Okay, so if you don't know what falling is a website. It's called fallingfalling.com. And what it is a colored thing. Also, there's a word on the screen that I now just realized I'm on YouTube and I'm not allowed to see. So, bear with. I'm just gonna do that. There we go. Cool. Great. That's fine. YouTube's fine with it now, right? Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Falling is a thing that basically it's a rainbow and it falls down, but it also has a shepherd's tone behind it, so it goes into eternity. And honestly, one time I sent it to a friend of mine and I said, is it bad? And my friend went, oh fuck, yeah, listen at your own risk. Make sure you've got a person who can wake you up afterwards, because honestly, for some people it does nothing. For other people it hits you like a brick on the head, and for me it hits me like a brick on the head, and I don't know why. It's very dangerous. Shepherd's Tongue Burr. It's so scary. Just be careful. But one time, we talked about how somebody should send a link inside another link. So what you do is you pretend to make up a link and then you put falling in it. With consent. Yeah. So there you go. Taking over someone else's PC. If you've got consent and permission to take over someone's PC, you could absolutely open falling on their background. You could take over their PC and go, oh wait, no, is that what's happening? Falling just opened. Oh crap. Yeah, falling sounds so wild. There's also rising, or is it rising or something? Awakening. It's like the opposite. It's really funny. It's like the opposite. It's supposed to make you feel refreshed, but it doesn't. Falling's good. There we go. I clicked on this suspected Rickroll, and now my brain's been you could go, never gonna. Meow. I would love it if it Rickrolled you at first and then immediately play Falling though. So that would be really funny to me. Yeah, that'd be fun. Anyway, VR stuff, VR chat there's apparently a community in VR chat. Shout out to the VR chat hypnosis community. I know you're out there. I've heard about you. I'm not one of you. It sounds fun. Mind Melting Machine. That is a virtual game. I've got some audios in it. If you want to listen to my audios on the Mind Melting Machine, there are links out there for that. I think. Somebody's made that. It was fun. I got to watch someone doing it once. Oh, it was hot. It was so hot. It was so hot to know I'm the voice inside their mind. And then they woke up and they looked at me and I said, hi. And they went, oh, it's you. And I went, it's me. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. It was great. VTubing of virtual avatars. Hi, look, I've got one now. And look what I can do. I can do spirally eyes, which I can't show you. And I could do pocket watchy face, which I can't show you because I've turned it all off. But you can do that kind of stuff. Hypnotic game nights. I've got a friend who runs a Discord server who has hypnotic game nights all the time. Live voice mods with voice effects. For example, I've got, hold on, let me see if I can find one. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, one sec. Oh, no, can I find it? Can I find it? No, I can't find it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Wait, will this work? Testing. No, it won't. Okay, I have some voice effects on my thing, so I could normally do like a reverby voice, but I can't today. But normally I could, and it's very fun. Then we have hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Watch listening parties, but be careful they don't get weird, because they do get weird when you're listening to a file with a group of people and you're all doing things to stuff and things. That's all I can say. I'm on YouTube. The gear. What gear do you need for online play? Get a better microphone. Jesus Christ, get a better microphone. If any of you are using those stupid headphone microphones, you're doing yourself a disservice because your voice will never sound as good. Get a microphone. There are some really cheap USB microphones out here, including the Audio-Technica one is really cheap. The Rode microphone is a bit more expensive, but really good. It now has an XLR and USB version. If you want a list of my favorite microphones, check Tumblr. I have a whole post about that. Webcam. You might want to get a nice webcam so people can see your fucking face. Or not. You might want to use it for piloting a VTuber avatar, which honestly, get an iPhone if you're going to use a VTuber. I use an iPhone for my tracking. I like my iPhone for my tracking, but I'm a bougie bitch. What can I say? Yeah. Oh, Secret, did you bring back the head pat mic? I didn't. I forgot to turn it on. I'm so sorry, but next time I will bring back the head pat microphone. Damn, you got an expensive setup, the Shure SM57 with the Yamaha MG10XU mixer. I have that mixer too. I love it. It's so great. Reliable internet connection. You might want to purchase a better internet connection if you know you're going to be doing lots of internet sessions. However, internet's expensive, so just like keep it within your price range. VR gear, again, super fucking expensive, but getting cheaper by the day. So if you do want to go into VR, there are ways and means. Just like keep it price and budget conscious. Budgets are a thing, apparently. And you might want to purchase a pair of decent headphones, especially if you're going to be wearing headphones for a long time. Think about open ear headphones. These ones I'm wearing right now are actually open ear headphones. They are the Audio-Technica ones. They're quite expensive, but what they do is they allow my ears to breathe. And honestly, I too need to breathe. Breathing is so important for both ears and for you. So there we go. The place, where can I find online play? Discord servers, online conventions. Please, for the love of God, let there be more of these. I had so much fun at Charmed Online. Forums or Reddit. VR chat, apparently there's hypnosis there. Social media, get a Tumblr page. Get a Tumblr page. Get a Tumblr page. Have you considered getting a Tumblr page? Get a Tumblr page. Join me. Get a Tumblr page. Audio file creators who post on places like YouTube, Soundcast, and Reddit. I don't know. Do you know any of them? Do you know any hypnosis content creators who make stuff online? Nah? Oh, that's a shame, because, you know, I'm always looking for good recs, you know? Okay, 4chan, fuck off. 4chan can go to hell. And that's my opinion. 4chan can go to hell. Sorry, 4chan. You can go to hell. I've had some bad experiences. If you struggle to find a place for you, ask around. Your experiences really depend on what you're looking for. Right. Any questions? Somebody asked about Aftercare Online. I'm going to quickly go through Aftercare Online really quickly before I do anything else because I've only got 10 minutes. I've got 10 fucking minutes. I'm on a time crunch. Damn it. I hate being on a time crunch, but here we are because Norma needs to borrow my setup. Norma and I share a voice box, and Norma's got to go do a thing. So yeah, we're on a time crunch today. So the big thing I will say about Aftercare Online is aftercare is very important, regardless of whether you're in person or online. Thank you, Genji, for the super chat. I do not understand how Tumblr works. It's okay. I don't think anyone does. None of us do. We just all kind of post and see what happens. So aftercare wise, the biggest thing is to make sure that somebody is okay after you've done a session with them. Online, you should do aftercare. Okay? I'm so sick of people telling me that aftercare is not a thing and that you don't need to do aftercare, because you do need to do aftercare. Okay? So please make sure that whatever you're doing online, you continue to do aftercare. Now, aftercare can look as simple as making sure somebody has water and food. Hey, do you have that snack next to your table? Great. Can I see you drink that water, please? Thank you. Maybe even suggesting that they wrap themselves in a blanket and feel nice and comfy and cozy. And the easiest way to do aftercare after hypnosis, especially online, is to ask them some questions that wake up their conscious mind a bit more. These are questions that make them think. So stuff like, how do you feel? Oh, hey, you told me before we started playing together that you're going on holiday next week. Where are you going on holiday to? Why did you pick to go to Japan? I'm so excited for you. What are you going to do while you're in Japan? Stuff like that. Get them to talk. Get them to think about stuff. Ask them how they feel. Yep. But like the biggest thing is like making sure that when they leave the voice call that they are not feeling like down. Just stay with them. Hang out with them. Make sure you allow time at the end of your session. Critical thinking too. Yep. Make sure you're spending time with them at the end of the session to make sure that they feel okay before you don't just like do the session and go, all right, bye bitch, and like dip off the call. If you know you're in a rush that day, just don't do hypnosis. Just find a time that's a bit more appropriate, more time. Now, we do have some questions. I'm going to read through a couple of them if I have time, but I don't have time. So I'm going to just do my best, okay? So if I don't get you a question today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save these questions for next time. So here we go. Hypnosis questions. Dear God, there was a couple in here that were good. Oh my God, there's so many of them now. Holy shit, there's so many of them now. Oh my God, you guys did such a good job of giving me all these questions. These are too many for one session, by the way. Here's a good one. The first one is, what is your most hated misconceptions about hypnosis? I think the biggest misconception that I really want people to take away from this, where are the questions? I made a form. I made a form. My biggest, I'm going to go into here real quick, actually. Hold on. Oh, it's so intimate in here. Hold on. There we go. So nice. I love this office. It's so lovely and calm in here. But my biggest misconception about hypnosis is that people try it one time and then they go, I can't be hypnotized because I didn't feel hypnotized. But like, can we have another stream where you answer all the questions? Yes, I think we'll do that next week, because honestly, I should have known that I wouldn't have time today to go through everything I wanted to. But yeah, I will say before I answer this and then wrap up is I hope you all had a good time. I hope you learned something today. I'm sorry for all the rambling. This is way more in depth than I went into it at Charmed, because I only had an hour and a half and they didn't stop me here. No one can tell me here how much time I have. So yeah, it's good. But I hope you had a good time, and I really hope someone timestamps this. I really hope someone timestamps this so that you can get some information. Yeah, so I guess it's the fact that a lot of people try it once and say, I can't be hypnotized. But it's only because they tend to try it in a way that just doesn't work for them. And instead of going, well, hey, I tried it once, but maybe I should try it again, they don't. They just give up. Or the worst thing is when I see people in the community who will hypnotize someone one time, it won't work out the way they thought it would work, and then they tell them they can't be hypnotized. I had a guy who, in my local scene, who actually did that to a bunch of people. and it was really shitty, and I had to go and undo a bunch of shitty shit. I had to go through and be like, actually, that's not true. Let me tell you a bit about hypnosis. And we talked about it. And then they were like, wow, that's really crazy. That's insane. Like, and after we chatted, they felt a lot more confident, but it did ruin their experience for a long time. And I think it's really disappointing, actually, when people do stuff like that. So yeah, assuming that something doesn't work because you tried it one time and it didn't work the way you thought it would work is not a it didn't work. It's just say, this particular way doesn't work for now, and maybe that will change, because your trance can change over time. Mine has evolved and shifted, you know? It's a whole thing. Yeah, that's like failing to bake a cake and telling the cake you can't be baked. Yeah, exactly. Whereas, like, if maybe the recipe doesn't work, or maybe you forgot to put the flour in and it's failed because of that. You know, there's lots of different things. So yeah, there's lots of different misconceptions about hypnosis. Also, the other one is that hypnosis is really dangerous. There's a lot of people out here who tell me secret hypnosis is so dangerous. It's really not. It's like saying that butter knife on the table is so dangerous. It's not. It's just, you know, people who use that knife incorrectly are going to be dangerous. Hypnosis is just like that. It's a tool. And if people misuse it, it can be dangerous, but it's not dangerous in itself, if that makes sense. Yeah, it has potential, but yeah, exactly. So it really frustrates me when a bunch of, especially this, I see this a lot in kink spaces online. A lot of online kinksters will start saying hypnosis is so dangerous. It's not, but yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, my hypno kinky people, for being here today. I hope you all had a wonderful time, and if you enjoy this, don't forget to give this video a like, because we're here on YouTube. And until next time, don't forget to keep it trancy. And I will see you at this, maybe not this time, but like a similar time next Sunday, whether it be evening or not. We will do the questions, we'll do Q&A. We'll actually do some hypnosis then, because today I ran out of time. Damn it, time. It's my time blindness got me again. But yeah, I'm so glad to see so many of you here, and I'm so glad you had such a wonderful time. And I hope you got a lot out of this. And if you did get anything out of this, please comment down below and tell me what you got out of this, and what you're going to do with hypnosis online. Clickbait title, no hypnosis. Hey, fuck you. I'll use the same title next week. It'll be fine. Anyway, until next time, don't forget to keep it trancy. I will see you later. Goodbye.